your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Yes. It's 10 o'clock on the dot on a beautiful Tuesday winter morning. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Kyle Ledbetter is back from his San Diego extravaganza. Kyle, saw you on social media. Looked like you were having a great time. We love to see it.
Having a wonderful, wonderful time. I'm so relaxed. I'm so chill. Did anything happen here while I was
it was
gone?
A very relaxing show yesterday. You missed a very relaxing show. And by the way, again, shout out Anthony, who held it down in your absence.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah, Whitey called him Andrew, so that was nice and fun. We will not be talking to Whitey today, as they will be at Golden One Center, the Drive Guys, as they are every home game, because we are the flagship for your Sacramento Kings. And speaking of those Sacramento Kings, a lot of people spent so much time, and when I say a lot of people, that would be myself included, talking about the ownage that the Pelicans had over the Kings. So much so that nobody seemed to remember, and De'Aaron Fox missed a couple of those games in his hometown of Houston, and that's where we first saw Keon Ellis last season. But nobody seems to remember that the Kings also never beat the Rockets. Okay, and in those games, they did not beat the Rockets. Like I said, they were missing De'Aaron Fox those first two in Houston. And then when the Rockets came to Sacramento, I believe that was when Alperen Şengün was injured and ended up being out for the rest of the season. So they did not finish that game with Alperen Şengün, the Rockets, and they still got that W. So this is a tall task for the Kings, as the Rockets are second in the West right now. They're rolling along. Fred VanVleet, who always has been a great story. He can get hot at any moment. And the way that guys seem to shoot in the Golden One Center, that could be a problem. Dylan Brooks is going to want to check whoever the hot hand is for the Kings, whether that's DeMar DeRozan, De'Aaron Fox, and everybody in between. And he's going to bring that dog that everybody out here in Sacramento has been looking for on the Kings. But this is an opportunity for the Kings. Like Dave said, no clue how the Kings are 1.5 point favorites, but maybe Vegas knows something that we don't. Maybe they're just playing the numbers. The Kings have to get a solid victory here at some point. And we're going to hear a lot from the Kings. Mike Brown, DeMar DeRozan from yesterday's practice. Kevin Huerter was a participant. So usually that bodes well for whether or not a player will play. So it seems like the Kings might be getting Kevin Huerter back. And speaking of Kevin Huerter, we have conversations that need to be had about Kevin Huerter, Trey Lyles, and that old trade generator. Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype wrote a piece where he has talked about every team and the trade candidates on every team. And those are some of the guys that came up in talking about the Sacramento Kings. I do want to spend a lot of time today, and the hope is, we like to be on the hopium on game day. Non-game days and reacting to losses, it's a little bit tough to have that hope. But on game days, we like to push everything else aside and say, hey, we're starting from scratch. We're feeling good about the Kings. Things are going to turn around, because why not? It's all we have. So game days, we tend to be more positive. So we're going to talk about teams that have been in similar situations to the Kings and how they ended up turning it around. Now, a lot of those times a trade was involved, but it's not done yet for the Sacramento Kings. They do have to start winning basketball games. Like I said, we're here from Coach Mike Brown, who will have some things to say about that as well as DeMar DeRozan. But as much as we're going to talk about the game tonight and how this team may deserve a little bit more time because of injuries and things like that, you look up, it's only about 20 games into the season, and that's fair enough. As we look at that side of it, we also have to discuss the reality of where they're at and the reality of the future of one De'Aaron Fox. Look, we're going to talk about the Toyota Corolla package part 2, the souped up version, if you will. And I don't even know if it's souped up with Kevin Huerter and Trey Lyles. We're also going to talk about what Matt Moore had to say about De'Aaron Fox and whether or not De'Aaron Fox could be on the move himself. Matt Moore, who covers the NBA for Action Network, had some things to say about one De'Aaron Fox. And I'll tell you this, man. I'll tell you this. The one thing that will always, and you know I love to go relationships here, the one thing that will always make a fan base or a fan feel differently about their star is when you see other people talking about them. The same way if you broke up with your girlfriend or your boyfriend and they post a little thirst trap on Instagram and you start reading the comments, you might feel like, man, maybe I made the wrong decision. Maybe I wasn't appreciating them enough. Or maybe you were on the brink of breaking up with them. They post a little thirst trap. You think, oh, maybe we should try to work things out. Once you see Bobby from Vacaville saying, you look good, girl. Once you see Johnny from the 209, dang, girl, he's a lucky guy. You start thinking a little bit differently. Because when you see the NBA Central post about De'Aaron Fox and you start reading all those comments and all these other fans salivating over possibly getting De'Aaron Fox on their team, I'm talking Laker fans, Rocket fans, Pelican fans, all these fans saying, no, we'll take De'Aaron right now. Let's make that move happen. I'm starting to see Kings fans say, whoa. I mean, we know De'Aaron's not perfect, but that's our guy. So let's not be too hasty here. Okay, if you're talking to Monty McNair or whoever it is. So I had a lot of fun reading some of those comments, knowing how everybody has felt, and not to say that they're the same people that's on social media that are on the calls and texts and Sack Chat. Shout out to the Sack Chat and the text line, call line. You know we're rocking with the calls and the texts and the Sack Chat all day and taking up to 2 p.m. But I thought that was an interesting wrinkle in this because it is so similar to when you see somebody that maybe you turned down. Maybe you thought, oh, you know, I think I'm a little out of your league, or I think this, that, the way you talk about this, their voice is kind of annoying, whatever it is, then they post that picture. Then they start getting interest from other people, and all of a sudden, oh, her voice ain't that annoying. That laugh ain't that bad. Now that you see other people interested. So the future of De'Aaron Fox on the Sacramento Kings, how does that make you feel? How will you look back on it? He's already in some of the record books for what he's done. And I think ultimately the question becomes, has De'Aaron Fox gotten enough help? Throughout the years, the obvious question, or the obvious answer is no. But now that he's starting to enter his prime, the first thing, and we were hard on Monty McNair yesterday, okay, De'Aaron's about to enter his prime. Domantas Sabonis is already in his prime. Let's go get a star. And in this day and age, with inflation, I'm not just talking about on the basketball court, but inflation everywhere, including in the NBA, Monty's thinking, what's a move I can make and not strap us for the foreseeable future? I like Brandon Ingram. Not sure that I can pay him $50 million. The Kyle Kuzma thing, whatever the Wizards wanted, I can't do 2 first-rounders for Kyle Kuzma. I can't do 2 first-rounders for Dorian Finney-Smith. Now the reports are coming out from the Nets that Dorian Finney-Smith's price has reduced. So at that time, last season, during that trade deadline, then going into this offseason, and again, we've been hard on Monty McNair on this show. We've been fair, but we've been tough. All right, what's the one thing I can do to give De'Aaron a better piece? And everybody that we have talked to on the phone, everybody in the middle of Golden One Center and Doco with the DJ, anybody that you ask, is DeMar DeRozan an upgrade from Harrison Barnes? You would say yes. Period, point blank. That's black and white. Now, is it enough? Maybe it's not. But maybe we should give more time because De'Aaron Fox just now starting to hit his prime. And if you do want to keep him here for the foreseeable future, look, this is a rough patch. Hopefully they get out of it. But if you want to keep him here for the foreseeable future, what we're learning here, and maybe Monty McNair is learning as well, this is why the trade deadline isn't until February. Okay, I didn't know whether or not DeMar DeRozan with the combination of Trey Lyles bounce back year, Kevin Huerter bounce back year, Keegan Murray leap. I thought that would be enough. It turns out right now that's not enough. And we're starting to run out of time. You have a lot of time until you don't. So now I have to be flexible. And as Monty McNair had that exclusive here with Jay Rose, Jason Ross, just a couple months ago, and he said, this is who we're going into camp with. And he's not alone. That's why there haven't been any trades made yet. The Pelicans, they've been decimated by injuries too. None of these teams are making moves. It is still early. And I'm not going back on anything I said yesterday. I thought it was a heck of a show. I had a lot of fun with all the callers and texters and sack chatters, and I'm sure we will again today. But there is a reason trades don't normally happen in November or December. Now, I will say December is incredibly important, and it starts tonight. Can you get a solid victory? Can you go on a run? But when you hear these words from DeMar DeRozan and you hear these words from Mike Brown here in the 10 o'clock hour, maybe it will make all of us feel a bit better. And look, I'm not lumping every caller, texter, listener together because we had a lot of people chime in yesterday and say, I'm not panicking yet. They're in an interesting spot because it's so bad. It's been so bad. 1-6 the last 7 games. But you can continue to turn it around. You got to eventually do it. And like I said, on game days, we like to be a little bit optimistic because a beam could be waiting for us. You know I don't like Tuesdays. The one thing that can make a Tuesday better, besides tacos, how about a beam? All right, 4 hours coming at you. Growing pains or regression? Let's hear from DeMar DeRozan on the other side after practice yesterday on what he thinks it is. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st Annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the Capitol for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st Annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th with Shriners Children's Northern California, Kernick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at sacktownsports.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
It's time. Shop Black Friday savings now at Lowe's. Shop now and get up to 50% off select major appliances. Plus, get an extra 10% off Whirlpool major appliances, like the new Maytag front-load laundry system with a Pet Pro filter that lifts and captures pet hair from clothes. Lowe's knows deals. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 11/6 to 12/4. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Allen Stiles here, Sacktown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. Kyle Ledbetter back with us behind the glass. Kyle, without thinking right now, favorite meat on a taco for Taco Tuesday. Ready, go.
Carne asada.
Okay.
Or pollo asado.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. I've been big on Al Pastor lately. I've been on an Al Pastor kick.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. See?
That's spicy. I like it.
Yeah, but you know what? Real quick, keep the pineapples off my Al Pastor. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Keep them off.
Okay, I'm not an anti-sweet on umami flavor, like pineapple on pizza, fine.
Sure.
You know, chicken al pastor. If you want to include something sweet like a pineapple or something, I'm fine with it. But I'm also not gonna bag on you for it. It's not like it has to be there.
No. I understand it should be there. I'm just saying not for me. One time I didn't know, and I got an al pastor burrito, and the pineapples were in the burrito, and I think that's even worse because then they got warm. It just not for me.
Okay, so in a burrito is different because then everything's just okay, if they're doing it right. Sometimes you just get like a dollop of sour cream just right in your mouth. But if they're doing it right, then burrito's tough because all the flavors are all going to get mixed together. And if you have something that like has juice on it, then the juice is going to be everywhere.
There you go. Well, let's hope that everything comes together for the Kings tonight against the Houston Rockets, who, look, the Rockets, they were right outside the play, and they called out the Warriors. Warriors come out to play, and then they proceeded to hold an L, right? But they're getting better each and every day. They got some really good young talent. That's one of the places that De'Aaron Fox has been connected to because of where he's from, obviously. But ultimately, none of that matters tonight. You got to go out and get a W, and I think both teams will be trying to impress each other. I don't know what it is about the Rockets, but yeah, the Kings unable to get the best of them last season. Let's hope they're able to do it this season. Kyle, let's hear from DeMar DeRozan and what he had to say. Ben, we see you. We're about to get to you. We want to hear from DeMar DeRozan, what he said yesterday after practice about the growing pains or regression. This is what he had to say.
Why do you feel what this team is going through right now is more on the growing pain side of you're going to come out of this stronger than team just taking steps back?
I mean, because the talent there, it's hard to come across talent, anywhere. We have a great collective talent of guys, and we showed it early on what we capable of doing. But, you don't expect, with new additions, whether if it's myself and a couple other guys being implemented in, me missing games, knock on wood, that I normally don't miss so early. A lot of things could throw off a rhythm, and sometimes when it's steamrolled that way, it could look and feel worse than what it really is. And I think from that standpoint, I know we're going to be all right.
When you've gone through stretches on a team before like this in your career, was it just a gradual get back, or was there like an aha?
Nah, it's a gradual thing. You stay the course, you stay focusing in on what's important, and you take it step by step. You can't really think you're going to hit a home run and feel it right away. You got to do all the necessary things, and before you know it, you look up. Now you look. Everybody's killing like a team like Milwaukee, for example. They had all the talent in the world, and they just wasn't clicking at that right time. Now look at them. People don't even talk about the first couple of weeks, and that's what you got to pay attention to. That's what this league is all about. And as long as you stay focused on the goal, you'll be all right.
That was DeMar DeRozan on the struggles that the Kings have had so far. And look, I think he makes a lot of great points, as far as who the Kings want to be eventually. And that Milwaukee team that he mentioned, they are now 10-9. And obviously, it was pretty bad out there in Milwaukee, and they have climbed back to 10-9. The Kings are sitting at 9-12 right now. So you're 21 games into the season. You get back to 500 and anything is possible. You get back to 500 and you feel like it's a tie ball game, right? It feels like it's a new game. It's a new opportunity to move forward. You cannot keep falling under 500. I think that makes the cave or the hill that you're trying to climb even higher. That's the main thing. Get back to 500, and then we can just move forward. Because, again, yes, 12 losses, not to say the Kings are only going to lose 12, but if you can just stop stacking, you're supposed to stack wins, not losses. You got to get back to 500, and then we can have some conversation. That starts tonight. And it just hasn't looked good. It's looked clunky. It's looked rough. And maybe maybe getting Kevin Huerter back. I mean, the thing is, we haven't had maybe early on it's been a decent game, but we haven't had Let somebody surprise us with the crazy Kevin Huerter game. Can we get surprised with the crazy Keegan Murray game? Instead, that's happening. It's the same guys for the Kings having to bust their you-know-whats every single night. And on the other side, give me a Trey Lyles 15, 17-point game. And on the other side, you got Champagne and a bunch of random dudes balling out for other teams. So can you get that from the Kings one of these nights? Because you know what you're going to get from Sabonis, from De'Aaron Fox, from DeMar DeRozan. 916-339-1140. Let's open up the phone lines here with Ben, who wants to be a part of the conversation. 916-339-1140. If you want to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Ben? What you got for us? Ben?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now.
All right. You gained so much of my respect with that El Pastor, man. That's on point, brother. That's where it's at.
Thank you.
Yeah, find you any mom and pop taco shop on Folsom Boulevard or anything like that, and get you some El Pastor. It'd be great. Hey, so I'm gonna channel my inner Pat McAfee and go, look, here's what we got with the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
De'Aaron Fox, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Sabonis, dog. Monk, dog. DeMar, dog. Why do we have all these dogs and we are still flailing in the wind? We got a lame duck going right now. And it's like, if we have all of these good pieces, it's the greatest situation that I could have asked for in the last, I don't know, maybe 5 to 6 years with the Kings, with what players we have outside of the bench. Don't get me wrong. The bench sucks. But where do we then start placing the blame? Is it on the coach? Because I love Mike Brown. I ran into Mike Brown at the Shell station down the street the other day. I love the guy. He's awesome.
Yeah.
But where do we start placing blame for the way we're performing? Because we've got validated, very good guys. And we've got a lot more than other teams can say. So is there no chemistry within the team? Well, what is it? I'll take your answer on it. I'm going to go get me an El Pastor taco now because you made me hungry. But you just let me know. Thanks for what you're doing, man. Great show.
Thanks for the call, Ben. Hey, 10-20, eat an Al Pastor taco, just throw an egg on top, or don't.
Buy yourself two, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't care. So he said Folsom Boulevard to grab the taco spots, Folsom Boulevard, because I'm in Natomas, so that's normally where I get my go-tos out there.
Sure, that's like on the way back, right? No,
Okay.
It's not, but still.
Did he say Folsom or Franklin?
He said Folsom.
Okay. Paul on the SAC chat is saying Franklin. Well, shout out to you, Ben. Go enjoy that Al Pastor, whether it's pineapple.
You know
or
what? 916-339-1140. Text us your recommendations for where to get tacos.
Oh, this is going to be spicy. Well, I was asking a lot when I first moved. I did an Allen Ask segment, so maybe we'll bring that back. But what Ben had to say as far as on the court, I think there's a couple things here. I'm not going to put it all on Keegan Murray, but I do think that the Keegan leap hasn't happened. And not only has the Keegan leap not happened, he hasn't been playing as well as he has in the past. So there is a regression there. Everything you said, Ben, as far as DeMar DeRozan, De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, those are the dogs. It just drops off after that. That's the problem. So you have three guys, and we talked about this because, you have three guys that are top 50 players, top 60 players, with DeMar probably being number 60 and De'Aaron and Domantas being mid-20s. And this is not me ranking them. This is just how they're viewed. So you would think that would be enough. And you have Malik Monk, who's probably a top 80 player, something like that. So you would think that would be enough, but the bench is so terrible that it's not. So you can have, and on the other side, you're talking about having three dudes who are within the 60 to 20 range as far as top players. You don't have a top 10 player. I hope that we're talking about De'Aaron Fox in that discussion right there. So I think the problem is their ceiling isn't that high because of their top tier talent being where it's at and not being top 10 or anything like that. And then their basement, which we thought would be better, is not good because their bench is awful. And the guys like Kevin Huerter, Trey Lyles, and Keegan Murray, your role players, so your stars are not the brightest of stars. No disrespect. I'm just saying
they're not
top 20.
Yeah, they're not Anthony
15.
Edwards.
Yes, they're not that. And then your role players who were supposed to bolster that are not doing that. So to me, it's fairly simple math, which is why I tend to sound like a Mike Brown apologist, but I just look around at the rest of the West and everybody needs to play better. But you look at some of the different roster constructions and everyone's bench. I mean, the Kings, don't take my word for it. People have said that the Kings have the worst bench in the league, right? That's tough to handle. And I like Isaac Jones, but if Isaac Jones is getting time for you, are you really poised to make a championship run? Probably not.
At least it's something though, right?
No, I'm not saying that. That's not about Isaac Jones. That's about if that's who you're having to go to. And I felt the same way, honestly, about Keon Ellis. It turns into and I know we got to get to the other side. It turns into a conversation of very similar to the San Francisco Giants this season and last season. Are you playing these guys because they're studs? Are you playing these guys because you have to? And the Brett Wisleys of the world, no disrespect whatsoever, they're not playing them because they're cooking. They're playing them because they don't have a choice. On the other side, let's hear from Mike Brown and how he doesn't think the Kings are hitting the panic button. Do the Kings deserve more time? Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports.
Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st Annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the Capitol for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st Annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th with Western Health Advantage, Gurnick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at sacktownsports.com.
Did you know that replacing garage doors is the biggest return on investment homeowners can get on improvements? Jason Ross here, and let me tell you about the Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, a family-owned and operated company with third-generation owners that's been in business for 71 years right here in Sacramento. With new garage doors from Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, you'll not only get the wow factor, but you'll also know that you're working with a well-respected and proven company. Residential and commercial, brand new garage doors, or repairs to existing doors, they do it all. Take advantage of their free at-home estimates on new garage doors or check out the showroom with no appointment needed. And while you're at it, mention me, Jason Ross, or Sacktown Sports and receive $100 off a new garage door paired with a new garage door opener. Check out their website at ohdsac.com or call them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
The holidays are always a great time to get together with family and friends, but nothing beats the thrill of Stockton Honda's deals. During Happy Honda Days, find the perfect ride in person or online. With over 400 new Hondas ready to go, now is the time to buy at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number one claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sell on report.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
At Harbor Freight, our low prices make us the place for gifts that keep on giving. Because when you give the gift of quality tools, you're giving someone the ability to fix, restore, and build for years to come. And with savings like these, you can even get something for yourself. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Stop by and give yourself the gift of great prices.
Seasons change, but if you hope to stay healthy, your body needs to stay active year-round, whether that's in the gym or on the trail or at work, and that's where the Good Feet store can help. Good Feet's personalized arch support system supports all 4 arches, relieving pain in your feet, knees, hips, and back. And Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Visit goodfeet.com for an appointment or stop in for a free fitting. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville, and in Reno on South Virginia Street.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We are about to hear from Mike Brown and what he had to say about the Kings hitting the panic button. But Kyle came in and asked me about my break, and and everybody knows that I got stuck on the I Street, not on the I Street Bridge. That would have been terrible. But I was trying to take Amtrak to a show, and I had to take the $100 Uber. It was brutal, but I got there. So it reminded me of another story, or of a story from the show that I haven't told yet. So I'm going to tell you here, Kyle, and, you know, the couple people that are listening right now. So this is what happened, right? My buddy went to the show with me, and he didn't really know the artist, Leon Thomas, but he said, hey, I like R&B, I'll go. And he lives in the city, so it was easy enough. So he wanted to kick it back. There was a merch table where you kind of finessed it into a standing situation. Mm-hmm. So he's back by the merch table, right? He's back by the merch table. I'm a couple feet in front of him, okay? So we're listening. It's great. So I back up eventually. So now 2 of us are lined up on the merch table. It then goes, there's like a stairwell that goes up. So people are lined up on the stairwell. Great. So he goes to grab a beverage. When he goes to grab a beverage, the guy next to me says, hey, are you with that guy? And I was like, I mean, yeah, we came together. Yeah. I don't know what you mean by that, but yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, okay, because I was going to say to move over. I said, oh, no, no, he's coming back. Like, he's just grabbing a drink. It's all good. So he says, okay, all good. So my buddy comes back, right? Mm-hmm. Then I go to get a beverage.
Oh, not a good choice.
And this guy sits and scoots down over. So now the girl that he's with is on the stairwell. He's now in my spot. And you know what, Kyle? I was in such a good mood. The Kings won that night. That was when they beat the Timberwolves. Yeah. I said, you know what? In my mind, not really trying to deal with it. Whatever. I'm going to just watch from up here. It's all good, right?
Yeah.
If that's what we're doing. The girl maybe had too much to drink. I don't know. The girl kind of topples over off of the stairwell. She's fine, but she topples over.
Yeah, like off the first stair.
Off like the first stair. So he gets her and helps her to her spot because the stairwell was VIP. So he helps her to the stairwell and he walks away. So I'm thinking, hey, you took my spot initially. This is standing room. This is why you don't do standing room over the age of 30. Okay, that's my problem. And if you're not 6 foot, all right, that's the other problem.
Okay.
So he leaves. He walks away to handle his girl and make sure she's okay. So I naturally go back next to my buddy that he knows I'm with.
Okay, so for context, how long are you standing at the top of the stairs before this happens?
I was there I was in front at that point. My buddy was in his spot. He had taken my spot. So a couple songs go by. The girl.
Okay, there we go. So a couple songs. So this is like 10 minutes.
Exactly. He walks away. Kyle, I go back to my buddy. We're standing there where I initially was.
Yeah.
This guy comes up to me and he goes, hey, bro, you think I could get my spot back? I said, Kyle, after being stuck on Amtrak, $100 Uber, then I got to take the Richmond BART. Kyle, I said, so now this is your spot. You do realize you took it from me first. It was right out of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And he literally thought it was the most confusing thing ever. I stood there, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, there's no names on the spots. You took my spot first. What are we talking about? Because
he asked you originally if that was your spot or if that was your buddy's spot.
Yes,
so you've already had a conversation with him.
And I said, I didn't say anything to you initially. Some people, man, He thought he was owed that spot when he took it from me. Correct. So I let him have it.
You let him have it?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay.
I let him have it. I said, no. Okay, now this is your spot now. You don't even want to handle your girl who we don't even know if she's okay. I let him have it. I let him have it. And I said, you can stand here, buddy. And then he tried to dap up my buddy, and I let him have it again. And he didn't do nothing. All right. I had to tell you.
No, I think you acted fine.
Well, I don't know if there's any video, but I had to let him have it. I did it in a professional way.
It's in the back of the venue anyways.
It was not that far. It was a great spot. All right? Okay. Let's continue the conversation. Talking about great spots, the Kings are not in a great spot. By the way, yeah, that was a great – thank you. By the way, who was in the right, Allen or this idiot? All right?
Well, I feel like you're biasing the jury pool by saying Allen or this idiot.
Not at all. Who was right, Allen or the self-centered idiot? Okay. Mike Brown is not hitting the panic button like I was when this guy asked for his spot back. Let's hear what he had to say after the Kings practice. Here it is.
And like I said, it's an 82-game season. It's a long season. Now, don't get me wrong. We can't continue to be like, hey, let's lose games and figure it out. And we did this great and that great. But we got to win games because that's what we get paid to do. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. But, we got – I said this before. Got to make sure we live up to our standard. And that's to communicate, to play for each other, or be there for each other. That's on the floor, that's off the floor, that's through adversity, that's through good times. We've got to stay connected. But we also got to make sure we take accountability. That's why I'll be the first one to say, I screwed up. I even told our group that I got to be better. I got to help them better. We all have to take accountability while we're going through this thing. Okay? And then at the end of the day, we got to compete. And not just compete defensively, but compete offensively, competing here with each other, even if it's a shooting drill. We got to compete. We got to get something out of everything we do. So that's what this is all about. Our guys know it, and they're preaching the same thing too.
We spent some time yesterday talking about whether Mike Brown has, quote unquote, lost the locker room. And the difference between you lose a locker room with high schoolers, you lose a locker room with college kids, and now college kids are getting paid now, and then you lose a locker room with pros, and ultimately there has to be some level of self-motivation. And a lot of these guys, when I think of, has he lost the locker room, there's a specific type of coach or personality that I think normally fits that description. It could be whether the coach is maybe just I don't want to say the age difference might be too great, right? Where, hey, things are just a little bit different and you can't identify with the players anymore.
Yeah, Tony La Russa.
Something like that. Or it's just the coach has a crazy personality and that doesn't jive well with some of the players. I look at what people thought about Nick Sirianni, okay, and guys like that. Now, the Eagles are playing well now, but that was a big conversation. He's loud. He's kind of brash, and some players just might not like that. When I hear Mike Brown and I see him, I don't think of it the same way because I just don't really know what he would be ticking players off from. When you hear something like that, he's just saying, this is the game plan, guys. Or if there's something as far as the philosophical, we don't like the philosophy. So I don't think it's a Nick Sirianni or Tony La Russa type situation. If anything, maybe it's philosophical, but again, we're listening to him. He's not sitting there asking, hey, let's run a 1-3-1 zone or something insane. It's just any other coach I feel like would be saying the same things.
I'll add you one better too, because there's another version of Lost the Locker Room that we just saw this week, which was the Chicago Bears.
Yes,
right?
yes. People taking shots normally. DJ Moore had been taking shots multiple times.
And the biggest thing that's coming out in the aftermath is lack of accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Is players were pissed that Matt Eberflus did not take accountability after the Hail Mary.
Yeah.
That he didn't take accountability with was it Waldron, the offensive coordinator, and that mistake that they made. didn't take accountability, tried to take accountability after the end of the Lions game, and it just went over like sour milk at that point with the team. So I don't think that is anywhere near the case with Mike Brown, because in the clip we just heard he's taking accountability, and all the way through and through after losses, it's Mike Brown saying it starts with me and filters down to other guys. I think maybe the signs of losing the locker room, whatever that might mean exactly, could have been there after they named Malik the starter. Because remember, Mike Brown, no matter what personnel package, rosters, injuries, he's never started Malik Monk. He said Malik is the sixth man. This is his vision. This is what he wants to do. And giving in on that might have been a sign that something is amiss. But I think in the aftermath, just listening to him and Malik and other players talk about it, it seemed like they handled it. They didn't give any signs that there was malcontent that led to the decision.
Well, and let's not forget, right? The reality is De'Aaron Fox is represented by Clutch. So if Clutch wants something to get out, it's going to get out. And unless something's gone awry within the last couple weeks here, since they've started losing, I think if there was anything that De'Aaron Fox was a part of, I don't think Mike Brown even gets the extension. So I'm not on the Mike Brown has lost the locker room hype, at least not yet. Again, we got to see what happens tonight, and they have to start winning basketball games. And that leads us to our question that we'll answer on the other side, and so will you, 916-339-1140. Do the Kings deserve more time? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to HIMSS.com/joy. That's HIMSS.com/joy for your free online visit.
Next door?
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected! Also, you forgot to renew your website domain and now you're in a bidding war!
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room and now everything smells weird!
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Hey, I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership at cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost, or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline, Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Couple people having some fun asking, how tall was this guy, Allen? Look, I dance with wolves. I'm not scared.
You got Sant energy.
He was probably he probably tells people he was 6, but I don't think he was. But he was taller than me.
Taller than you, not taller than me?
No.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
We got some room to work with.
Look, man. There's some stories I can't tell on the air here, but don't play with me. Didn't Bomani always say, don't ever mess with the 5'8" guy in the friend group because they're always the craziest ones?
With professional athletes, don't mess with the 5'8" ones. That's the other part of it. Is to be 5'8" and make it to professional athlete, you have to be crazy.
Because they've seen some things. And the Kings, they have seen some things this season. 916-339-1140. If you want to be a part of the conversation, we played the Mike Brown sound in the previous segment about not hitting the panic button, staying together, a lot of the things that we've heard before. So the question ultimately is, do the Kings deserve more time? We're still going to talk about Kevin Huerter, Trey Lyles, and whether or not they should be moved. We're still going to talk about the De'Aaron Fox conversation, as Matt Moore from the Action Network has put some things out as well. But the other part of it is, okay, there are a couple games you were missing all three, Malik Monk, Domantas Sabonis, and DeMar DeRozan. De'Aaron Fox has been banged up. You haven't seen Trey Lyles. Kevin Huerter has missed time. Does this group simply deserve more time as they are only 21 games into this young season? Or are there issues that you know for a fact are not going to be able to be overcome? That's ultimately the question. My initial thought is I'm close to saying that I've seen enough, but maybe I haven't. Jerry Reynolds, I know, was on with the Drive Guys as he is every week, and he said 20 games in, 20 games in, which is funny because trades never happen 20 games in. So maybe but you're still hoping, but you're starting the process of seeing what's out there, because depending on what you know and what your next move could be, that goes to when you're going to start thinking about making a move. If what we don't know, to Jerry Reynolds' point, the great Jerry Reynolds, if you feel like at 20 games in, you normally know, right? The next question is, if you're Monty McNair, this is what we know. We know this group isn't good enough, but 20 games in, do you know how you want to approach what's next? Do you want to just tweak the roster a little bit and go with the Toyota Corolla package with Trey Lyles and Kevin Huerter and get whatever you can
Dorian
back?
Finney-Smith.
Yes, and they're going to need pick. Maybe is it those two and a second rounder and say pretty please, because Kevin Huerter's not an expiring deal, but Trey Lyles is, and people love expiring deals. Is that a direction that you go in? Because Trey Lyles, Kevin Huerter, and a first rounder for Dorian Finney-Smith, that feels too much to me.
Honestly, I just looked up his contract. They can just straight up do Huerter and a first for Dorian Finney-Smith.
And maybe and now the Nets, they get, what is it, 2 more years of Huerter, because he wouldn't be expiring, but he expires next season.
But also Jordy might sign him to an extension, right? Like Jordy might say, I've had fun with Kevin. I'm part of the reason Kevin had this great season in 23. Yes. Maybe I just keep him around. But
it's an asset. It's an asset that they could find intriguing.
Yes. And to your point, no trade is going to happen until after December 15th, no matter what. That's just good business sense because all the players then become available for trade at that point.
Right.
Last year, the OG Anunoby trade, which was the first big deal of the trade deadline season, that happened New Year's Eve. The big trades aren't going to happen for another 6 weeks.
Right.
Maybe the small one in the margin, like, hey, this Kevin Huerter thing, we see the writing on the wall and we can move him right now for Dorian Finney-Smith. Maybe they do that, but in that sense, I'd still even give this group another 10 to 15 games to kind of play it out, because you might have a feeling, or if Jerry Reynolds is saying, after 20 games where you're at, well, the Kings really haven't had 20 games together.
So
if from now going forward, we're going to have them healthy and Malik's going to be the starter again, and it's going to be Jay Crowder and Keon Ellis and Isaac Jones and Jordan McLaughlin coming off the bench, and this is the group, then give them 15 to 20 games or give them 10 to 15 more games to get to 20 games together.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is December is huge. If I'm Monty McNair, hey, this hasn't looked great. December is going to be huge, and they're either going to turn this thing around, or January is going to be a very spicy first month of the year. That's the best thing to do, because of December 15th and more players become available. That makes more sense from a business standpoint. It makes more sense from a basketball standpoint. It gives the guys hopefully time to get healthy and truly see what we have. So that's probably where this thing is going. The issue is, if you continue to stink, your leverage starts to leave, because it turns into, we know you have to make a move, or we know you might be thinking about blowing this thing up. So this month of December is going to decide what exactly the move is going to be. I do think at this point they know they're going to make a move. I believe that December will decide what type of move it's going to be. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Dwayne out in Stockton, wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Dwayne? What you got for us?
Hey, listen, fellas, there is no more time. The hourglass already ran out. Y'all late. So I get the December 15th thing, so you have all your options. But, bro, this is already falling apart. You guys are just watching it happen and coming with all these takes and stuff, when really, at this point, it's got to be some action. And I get the December 15th, but that just makes it all the much worse. Your next 3 games are against Houston, Memphis, and then you got Wemby again. You got 3 games in 4 nights, and you got Wemby on Friday again. He's a one-man wrecking crew against Sacramento. It's ridiculous, bro. You might as well just send 2 guys at him and just make him give it up. But don't let him do that stuff again on Friday, bro. So that's all I got to say, man. This Monty McNair, bro, he's letting the season go down the drain. If you lose all 3 of these, you're 9-15, bro, and things are going south fast.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Dwayne. Look. Just like we had people say, hey, the Kings need more time, a lot of people feel like time is up. I just simply think at this point, it's December 3rd already. And you know how I feel about the calendar. We're basically at December 15th. So at this point, you might as well. It's literally at the end of next week. So there's no. It wouldn't make sense. If anything, I guess you could get on the call now, but the pool is going to be greater because then we can't have people calling in and then saying, well, why didn't you get this guy? Why didn't you wait? Why were you hasty? I got my uncle who's in Panama. Shout out to my uncle. He recently had a birthday. He always says, Allen, haste make waste. Haste make waste. You know, if you're hasty, you could end up wasting a good situation. So shout out to Uncle Georgie out there. And
shout out Uncle Georgie.
And haste make waste. You know what I mean? There's no reason at this point. If it was, I would say this, if the date was December 31st, then maybe I would have a conversation. But it's Tuesday already. The 15th is going to be here. You're going to blink and it's going to be the 15th.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with Dwayne in the sense the hourglass is literally not empty yet. Like, literally, there is a month left until they have to consider making a move. Even January 15th is the day that people who sign long-term extensions can be eligible for trade. Like, the hourglass is literally not empty yet. There are weeks left.
But as we do discuss trades and what can happen, we have the piece from Michael Scotto that I will read through on the way back. Who should be on the chopping block? If anybody should be on the chopping block. More of your calls, more of your texts, more of your Sack Chat when we return. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the Capitol for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th with Western Health Advantage, Gurnick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at sacktownsports.com.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, reminding you that every deal at Folsom Lake Ford is a slam dunk. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, including America's best-selling truck for over 47 years, Ford F-Series, plus a huge selection of Broncos, Bronco Sports, and all of Ford's award-winning SUVs at FolsomLakeFord.com. Listen, I know a great play when I see one. And if you want to save on a new Ford, you got to drive the lane straight to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with zero down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest financing. And Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. So hurry to Folsom Lake Ford, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they're my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop them online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Did you know that replacing garage doors is the biggest return on investment homeowners can get on improvements? Jason Ross here, and let me tell you about the Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, a family-owned and operated company with third-generation owners that's been in business for 71 years right here in Sacramento. With new garage doors from Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, you'll not only get the wow factor, but you'll also know that you're working with a well-respected and proven company. Residential and commercial, brand new garage doors, or repairs to existing doors, they do it all. Take advantage of their free at-home estimates on new garage doors, or check out the showroom with no appointment needed. And while you're at it, mention me, Jason Ross, or Sacktown Sports, and receive $100 off a new garage door paired with a new garage door opener. Check out their website at ohdsac.com or call them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
Ba, 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 ba. Yep, 'tis the season. Hey, if you take pride in your gift giving, here's a great idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift from the Good Feet store. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville, and in Reno on South Virginia Street.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Dwayne on the text line. We were just on the phone with Dwayne. Dwayne says, nobody wants Herter. That's a wrap. Yeah, well, unfortunately, you're going to take Herter, you're going to like it. That's the money that makes the most sense and matches the most for some of the deals they want to do. I think that, to your point, Dwayne, they're going to have to add something else. He's not going to be, or you've had breakfast, right? You got the eggs and you got the toast and you got the bacon. I think that Herter is maybe the toast, right? And maybe the draft picks, that's going to be your eggs or your omelet or whatever.
Fitting, isn't it? Herter is toast.
Okay, well, you said that, not me. Wanted to get to this piece, speaking of Kevin Herter, from Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype. This is what he had to say. He went through all the teams that might have some trade pieces and want to make a move. This is what he had to say. With heightened expectations following the addition of 35-year-old DeMar DeRozan this offseason, the Sacramento Kings have underwhelmed thus far. Thus, executives around the league are monitoring if the team will be more willing to part with either future first-round draft picks, 24-year-old forward Keegan Murray, and rookie guard Devin Carter, who's yet to play this season. With DeRozan still playing at a high level, Domantas Sabonis thriving in his prime at 28, De'Aaron Fox having the best offensive season of his career at 26, ahead of becoming extension eligible for a massive pay raise, newly signed Malik Monk entering his prime at 26, and owner Vivek Ranadive hoping to make a run in the playoffs this season, there's a heightened sense of urgency in Sacramento. The Kings dangled Kevin Herter and Trey Lyles on the trade market last season and are expected to do so again this season, league sources said, with their salaries combining for roughly $25 million. So, to Dwayne's point and bouncing off of what Michael Scott of Hoops Hype just wrote, the question is, what's realistic? If they don't want to move, let's say Keegan is still untouchable and we're literally just trying to move Trey Lyles and Kevin Herter, what's realistic, right? I mean, it's got to be the picks. And you ask the question, what's more valuable? Keegan Murray right now, Devin Carter, or picks, right? Would you rather move Kevin Herter and Devin Carter for a Dorian Finney-Smith, or would you rather move a Kevin Herter and a first rounder? And here's the other part of it. I feel quite awkward. I know it's my job, but I feel quite awkward having these conversations, and I wish the Kings would start winning games because, you know, we have practices and we got guys on the mic who will come on the show like Keon Ellis and guys that have done it as well. And I feel awkward talking about this. It's just the reality of the situation. You don't win games and you don't perform. There's just tough conversations to be had. And as far as Kevin Herter is concerned, I'm not the one saying that he should be in these conversations. This is what's being reported. So I just felt like I need to say that. This is not we don't want Kevin Herter in Sacramento. I heard he's a great dude, used to do hits on this year's station. That's all fine and good. These are the reports, and we're just going through the reports. And if you look around the Kings from a contract standpoint, there's not a lot to work with. So when people say, well, nobody wants a Kevin Herter, that's not really the conversation. The conversation is, to get what they do want, they have to make contracts work. And Kevin Herter is not a scrub at all. He's been through some tough times. Last season, couldn't get right, then got injured, and he's still trying to get back. As he's trying to get back from that injury, he's suffering more injuries. So that's just the nature of the beast right now. So I just want everybody to understand this is not a what's your deal with Kevin Herter? Why is he always a trade bait? Well, because there's just not many guys to choose from.
Yeah.
Trey Lyles is only making $8 million, and Kevin Herter's value is also higher than Trey Lyles. And I feel the same about Trey Lyles. He was on our show during media day, and he seems like a great dude. But we have to talk about this team improving. And right now, number one, they're not even playing. That's not their fault. But even when they were, there were conversations about, hey, this guy needs to be better. This guy needs to be better. And if you're not making the team better, I don't have to finish that statement. That's just what it is.
Well, so to answer the original question of what is realistic, even though, Mr. Stiles, it feels like the sky is falling for the Sacramento Kings at this point, the trade targets and candidates haven't changed because their cap situation hasn't changed.
Right.
I would be very, very, very surprised if Keegan Murray gets traded before the deadline this year. Maybe we'll come back in May and have all sorts of conversations about what is Keegan's contract worth on a rookie scale extension. Should they trade him? Can they package him? But I'd be surprised if in the next month and a half he ends up getting traded, given how much they've committed to him and invested in him over the last 2.5 years. I don't think they'd be so quick to give up on him after a 10-game stretch where he's really struggling offensively. Now, if that's the case, it's the same. What's realistic is the same situation we've been talking about since Lauri Markkanen was on the table back in July, which is the $20 to $30 million range forwards, the Kyle Kuzmas, the John Collins, the Dorian Finney-Smiths, the Cam Johnsons. If you want to go after Jeremy Grant, you probably have to include Devin Carter in the deal. Like that, those are the targets for the Kings. It's that $20 million range forwards would be considered a realistic splashy move. And the package would be Kevin Huerter, Trey Lyles, and some combo of their young players and picks. The same trade package we've been talking about for months.
Same thing. And, you know, as far as that conversation goes, when you look at what the Kings have done so far, you also have to realize that the other team needs to want what you're selling. Right. So it's not that anybody wants to move on from Devin Carter or future first round picks, but you got to give something to get something back. Scared money don't make no money. That's just the way of the world. And Kevin Huerter, who he still can be in this league, maybe, and I said this last season, maybe he's just not a starter. Maybe he is a guy who's just a sniper off the bench. Maybe this is just a moment in time where that's being realized. Or maybe he goes somewhere else and becomes a starter. Here's what's interesting, and we're going to get to these phone lines in a second here. I see you, Will and Tim. Here's what's interesting, and it's almost similar to the Harrison Barnes thing. As far as Keegan Murray is concerned, the Kings will be in a tough spot either way. Because if Keegan Murray continues to struggle, then you would assume that his value isn't as high as it is. If Keegan Murray starts playing well, then you think, well, this is the guy that we thought we had, and now we don't want to move off of him, even though his value will start to creep up again. So they're going to have to make a decision whether you're going to sell low on Keegan Murray if he doesn't start playing better, or let's assume he does start playing better. Do you sell high when the value creeps back up, almost like stock, or I know there's some crypto bros out there, or do you sell high on Keegan Murray when that's going to tick off the fan base because, hey, Keegan's finally turning it around, don't move off him. So it's kind of a darned if you do, darned if you don't situation as far as Keegan Murray is involved.
Yeah, and thinking of it like Monty McNair, who is thinking of this from a longer-term perspective. I mean, everything they've invested in Keegan's growth and development since they drafted him. I mean, he's the highest draft pick they've had since Bagley. He started right away. He started 3 years now for them. They haven't even had a chance to talk to his agent about a contract extension yet because you can't negotiate until like April 15th, 2025 or whatever. So I would be stunned if they made that move now, given what they've been investing in him over the years. It's them better to hope that he turns it around or invest in coaching that will help him turn it around or whatever it takes to help the offensive game rather than sell low at this point when who's the player out there that you're like, yes, we have to trade Keegan Murray for him. That player doesn't exist right now.
And the other thing is right now they're just exposing Keegan Murray. So if I'm the Kings, if you're going to keep Keegan, you need to make a deal that brings in somebody that can lessen the load for Keegan Murray. Because right now, all you're doing is showing everyone that would be interested that he can't be that all-around guy right now. So I would say you need to bring somebody in or just say, I don't know if it's Keegan, you're not guarding top guards anymore. And I know they just starting Malik, but maybe let De'Aaron guard a top guard if De'Aaron wants to be all defense and be the steals leader. All I know is that that's not working. And if you have to make, if maybe the 4s are concerned or whoever, but stop putting Keegan on 2s and small 3s, whatever it is, just lessen his load defensively a little bit. 916-339-1140. Let's go to Will. Wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Will? Going down Styles. What you got?
What's up, fellas? Hey, man. Hey, look. It's depressing enough.
Mm-hmm.
Please stop playing clips of Mike Brown.
Why?
No, because it don't make sense. It don't make sense. He's not saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the same thing over and over again. I mean, it's nonsense. But here's the thing: the Kings score for the most part. They score enough points, man. They can't guard the 3. They can't play. They're not athletic enough to get out on guys. And then you guys never critique Sabonis, man. You know, critique Sabonis. Sabonis in the fourth quarter, and this is Coach Brown and Sabonis' fault. Down the stretch in the fourth quarter, you got Yimby and Chris Paul. I mean, Chris Paul just outcoached Brown. I mean, they're setting up Monk and Fox to make a switch on Yimby. I mean, about 4 or 5 times in a row. And he's one-on-one in the paint with a 2-foot guy on him, and he 8 feet tall. And Coach Mike Brown didn't make any adjustments to change that situation, and we lost by 2.
Are you putting that on Coach Mike Brown, or are you putting that on Sabonis?
I'm putting it on both of them. If it happened once or twice, fine. But it happened about 5 times. You saw that.
No, I saw. No, I know.
You saw it. And so who saw that?
No, they said that was the game plan, Will.
No, but my point is, I don't care what he say. It's idiotic. You know that's idiotic. If you and me playing a 5-year-old and I keep posting up a 5-year-old, you know, and nobody's making any change. No, man, you can't make that switch. In the paint when you got an 8-foot guy down there on Monk and Fox.
I hear you, Will. Good stuff as always. Look, that was the plan. The other part of the plan was to live with the 2s from Wemby if he's just going to just bang bodies down low, because that's not even what Wemby wants to do. He wants to be Kevin Durant. But if, hey, Wemby, you got a guard on you, you can't help but take them to the rack, right? And maybe you get fouled, whatever it is. The issue was that happening and Wemby scoring that way, then on the other side and or kicking it out, getting open 3s. That wasn't supposed to happen. So they followed now, if you don't agree with the game plan and maybe, hey, based on what was happening in the game, and I'll give Will this, hey, coach, you need to adjust because they are hitting 3s. And now you're in a dogfight, so you can't just let Wemby do his thing. So now you have to adjust that. I hear you on that, but that was it's not that yes, let's talk about maybe the game plan not being something that you liked, but they did follow the game plan, and maybe the game plan should have changed once they were getting cooked, and it was happening pretty late in the game. Maybe if that had been established earlier, it would have been different. So I do hear you, Will. You know I do. All right, let's get to the other side. As we discuss what Matt Moore had to say about De'Aaron Fox, the question is, has De'Aaron Fox gotten enough help out here in Sacramento? Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacramento Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Hello, everyone. It's your favorite president, Donald J. Trump, here to introduce something really special. You're going to love it. My new Trump watches. It's one of the best watches made. Wear it proudly on your wrist, and everyone will know what it's for, who it's for, what it represents. Get your Trump watch right now. Go to gettrumpwatches.com. It's Trump time.
That's right. President Trump has won the election, and now he's released his official Trump watches. Celebrate this historic victory with a Trump watch that stands for strength, leadership, and winning. But don't wait, because these limited edition watches won't be around for long. Go to gettrumpwatches.com now to get your Trump watch before they're gone. Don't miss your chance to own a piece of history. Go now to gettrumpwatches.com and get your watch today. This ad paid for by the Best Watches on Earth, LLC. See gettrumpwatches.com for details. Trump watches are not intended for investment purposes.
Go to gettrumpwatches.com for our Black Friday sale going on now.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. From the Sack Chat from 12 Ladu. 1140 is so Homer. They are mad covering for Brown every show. Sad, 3 years with the same core and still can't guard three-pointers. Well, it has not been 3 years. Number one, we are 21 games into the third year. And number two, you never know when people hop in, so I'm not going to get on 12 for, not being able to listen to every minute of every show, but we've held Mike Brown extremely accountable on this show, but that's your opinion. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. At the end of the day, I asked the question yesterday. Name is it Jordy? Are they better with Jordy? Who is it? What is it that you want Mike Brown to do? We're sitting here giving Isaac Jones minutes. No disrespect. We're sitting here arguing, why isn't Jordan McLaughlin playing more? No disrespect. We're sitting here talking about Dougie McBuckets needs to get in more. No disrespect. So I'm not saying that they shouldn't be 9-12. I agree. But at the same time, maybe you can. Tell me who it is and how good they be. By the way, and again, 21 games in. You missed DeMar DeRozan for what, 4? You missed DeMontis, 2 guys that never miss games. You missed those guys. You missed Malik Monk for, 5-7 games, something like that, on a bench that already stinks. You're playing Colby Jones. Now that might be a Mike Brown thing because maybe you could go to Jordan McLaughlin, but we're fighting between Colby Jones and Jordan McLaughlin. And it's Mike Brown's fault. Now, he took accountability. Everybody needs to play better. But if your argument is that, hey, he needs to change his philosophy, whatever it is, it's not working. Maybe you just feel like a new voice needs to be in there, right? Maybe that's the case. But as far as what they're being asked to do, I don't think that Eric Spoelstra, hey guys, we need to guard the 3-point line. Okay. Now we're going to do it because Eric Spoelstra said to do it. You got DeMar DeRozan, not a great defender. You got Domantas Sabonis, decent, but he's not a rim protector.
Not what you would expect.
No. De'Aaron Fox is, I would say, above average. Keon Ellis will eventually be elite, but he's in his second year coming out of the G League. And then you got Keegan Murray, who's in his third year. Those are your starters. Okay, Keegan is still trying to. It's like Keegan. He's still trying to figure out who he is. He's got more muscle now. Is that affecting his shot? And that's more of a growth thing than anything else. So again, They should not be 9-12. But you can miss me with the they're hard on. They're avoiding Mike Brown. Stop it. You're embarrassing yourself. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Sam. Wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Sam? What you got for us?
Hey, good morning. Well, here if you give me about a minute, I'm going to lay some couple things out.
All righty.
The bench needs to get older, and that means the bench is way too young to come in. You're going to, and excluding Lynn, you need somebody that's a little bit more mobile than him, but you got to get somebody that may be 28 to 32 years old on the bench because all they are a bunch of young guys, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I think the Kings need to, well, they probably can't, but they should start playing inside out instead of outside in, because all they're doing is standing out there and trying to bang some threes. And then the third take would be is that the Kings need a power forward to get in the paint. You have one guy rebounding, and that's Sabonis. Keegan Murray, he's in and out. You have nobody else rebounding. So where are you going to find him? I don't know. Is that a Kuzma or which they talked about? Maybe. But overall, that's what the Kings need. They need a power forward. They need to play from inside out. And they need to get a bench, 2 or 3 players on that bench that are older, like 32 years old, that, they're bench players, but they're stronger than the young guys. So anyway, that's what I think.
No, thanks for the call. That was great stuff, Sam. Yeah, I mean, the one thing is that's a Jay Crowder. That's who they added, right? But how much is Jay Crowder going to get? I think Jay Crowder has played pretty darn well. I don't really have a problem with what Jay Crowder has done so far. I don't really know what more you want.
It goes back to the trade conversations we had before, right? It's like it's a Dorian Finney-Smith plus a Jay Crowder plus a healthy Trey Lyles, right? If we look at the bench that way, it's like, oh, hey, look, that's a bunch of names. That's a bunch of options. It actually starts to look a little bit better. It's just they're going to need more than just Jay Crowder at this point if they're going to satisfy what Sam's talking about.
Yeah, but again, what Sam is talking about is getting guys that are veterans but are bringing more to the table, not guys that were on their couch a couple weeks ago waiting for a call, very much so like Jay Crowder was. So really it's just making what Sam is saying is make the bench better. I think we can all agree that's what Sam is saying, and they do. Jerry Reynolds said they might have the worst bench in the league. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Dave. Wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Dave? What you got for us? Dave?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, got you now.
All right, very good. Hey, I'm kind of disappointed in Keegan, I'll be honest with you. This is his 3rd year. He should have been taking a giant step forward for the guy with his size. The other day when he got 3 against Portland, I mean, real good players just don't have stink games like that. They just don't. They figured out a way to get it done. I don't think he's aggressive enough. I think he's too timid on his personality. I think Herter's a liability. His 3-pointing is not near what it used to be. And quite frankly, I would like to see us take more mid shots, 17, 18, 15-footers. We have a higher percentage, and 2 points is better than none off the 3-pointers all the time. And we just need – I like Crowder's attitude. He has the right attitude. He's just older. He's going to be limited physically. But I kind of like that trade with Milwaukee because we need somebody who's not afraid to get in there and bang the boards, get dirty, and do the job that has to be done. Just don't have that attitude yet.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Dave. I'm assuming he's talking about Bobby Portis, is just my guess.
Either that or he was thinking that Crowder got traded from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I guess, that was the last team he was on.
Right, it was the last team he was on. Yeah, as far as the Keegan Murray conversation, and we've talked a lot about Keegan, and I'm really hoping that he can just have one of these games so we can give Keegan a break, but he hasn't. And that I don't know, man. As far as I hate to overuse that word dog, but it isn't something you can teach. So to me, and that's why the Kawhi comparison has been similar. I don't think Keegan is going to get to the Kawhi level. I do think he might be healthier, but I don't think he's going to get to the Kawhi level. But Kawhi is kind of that quiet type guy, and you wouldn't look at him and say, that dude's a dog. But then he plays, and he can dribble, he can ISO, he can beat you off the dribble, he can do other things. So, yeah, it's a weird spot. I mean, it's somewhere between a Kawhi and a lesser version of Kawhi and Klay Thompson if they were combined, right? Because I don't see him being able to create like Kawhi, but I do see him being able to shoot similarly to Klay Thompson. But either way, that guy, from a mental standpoint, is just not going to hunt shots.
No, but he's also gotten stronger and is banging bodies more down low and getting to the rim. I mean, earlier in the year, he was shooting almost 80% from inside the painted area. So it's like earlier in the year, he was just getting his shot in different ways and scoring in different ways. I think you're right. One of those games, like even Keon Ellis against the Hawks knocked down 9 3-pointers. Right. Like if Keegan just had one of those games where the shot came back, I think a lot of the angry callers here would chill out. And it's why, going back to the conversation we had last segment, I'd be shocked if they moved off of Keegan this soon, because it's been a tough 10-game stretch. Shooting's been at its career lows at this point, but he's still giving it to him on defense, and he's still getting to the rim. Yeah. Like, he's not a total net zero. And so given how much they have invested in him being the number 4 pick and him being someone on a rookie contract, I think they're going to give Keegan Murray every opportunity to play it out in the starting lineup too, because I think the next step is switching up the starting lineup to bring in Crowder or make a trade for whoever would eventually replace Keegan in the starting lineup.
Yeah, it reminds me of if maybe somebody, always taking it to baseball, if somebody was a power hitter and you wanted to work on getting on base more and hitting more base hits, and all of a sudden they lost their launch angle and now they can't hit bombs anymore. Keegan is getting on base more. He's doing the little things more, but you're just not seeing that power from him, at least not right now. All right, we'll get to that Matt Moore piece on De'Aaron Fox on the other side. More of your calls, text, Sack Chat. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the 3. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in the zone,
So what if I need a new one? We have the right Duralast battery for you, only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone,
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
If you've been too busy to sign up for your health insurance plan, it's understandable. It's also why there's Health Markets. At healthmarkets.com, you can see the plans available to you and even speak to a licensed insurance agent. Just dial pound 250 and say Health Markets. They'll answer your questions, and when you're ready, even help you apply. Just dial pound 250 and say Health Markets. Getting your new health insurance plan could be easier than you think. Health Markets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide except in Massachusetts.
It's time now for your 49er injury report, brought to you by Jeremy Winter, attorney at law. He cares because he's been there. In the loss at Buffalo 35-10, Brock Purdy did return from a shoulder injury that sidelined him the week before. But the bad news was Christian McCaffrey, who went down with a knee injury in the first half and did not return. According to head coach Kyle Shanahan, it was a PCL injury that could sideline McCaffrey the rest of the year. That's very bad news indeed for the 49ers, who are now 5-7 on the season.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
Merry Christmas from Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and we're still celebrating Black Friday all month long. When buying a car, getting a good deal, it's kind of the easy part. Where Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram really sets themselves apart from anywhere else is the experience, from sales to service and everything in between. It's why so many people keep coming back to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's because it's the place where a handshake still means something. And if you've been wanting to experience that Jeep life, there's no better time than now. SacSuperstore.com SackTownSports.com, located off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
The Big O Tires Black Friday sale is still going. Buy 3, get 1 free on hundreds of select tires, including our exclusive Big O branded tires. Hurry before the Black Friday sale ends December 8th. Installation required, disposal fees extra, not valid with other offers. See Big O dealer for details.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. On the text line, it borders on insane thinking if we're waiting for this motley crew roster to just magically put it together, especially when you consider that this team has basically been trending downward since mid last season. I get DeMar is a new piece, but it would be a fatal mistake to just keep rolling the same thing out there and expecting different results. Yeah, I think the main part of this is DeMar is it's tough because he is scoring and he is contributing more than HB. It's just you lost. I mean, ultimately, to be completely honest with you, DeMar DeRozan is scoring more than HB, but you're getting less from Keegan Murray, Trey Lyles, and Kevin Huerter. So I do think that there is a world where we're not really seeing DeMar and his increase in production over HB actually do anything because you're getting less from the rest of the roster. So it's just a big Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, and DeMar DeRozan fest every single game, and Malik Monk, and that's simply not enough because you're getting zero. I mean, you're just not getting much. And defensively, HB is probably a better defender than DeMar DeRozan. But either way, this has just never been a very good team defensively. They've never been elite. All right, let's get to what Matt Moore had to say from the Action Network. This is what he had to say about De'Aaron Fox. Rival executives are monitoring De'Aaron Fox's situation in Sacramento. Last month, De'Aaron Fox turned down an $165 million extension. The assumption was that this was about next summer's financial opportunity for Fox and nothing to worry about. Other executives aren't so sure, and they're ready to pounce. One thing that would likely change this conversation immediately is if Fox secured an all-NBA selection and opened up the Supermax for him to resign. That's absolutely on the table for a player averaging 28, 5, and 6 with room to improve his efficiency. If he doesn't, however, and the Kings season goes sideways, things are going to get hot. Fox is represented by Clutch Sports, which means there's always drama around the corner. So it sounds like what Matt Moore is saying is there's nothing would happen. He doesn't think anything would happen at the trade deadline, but something might happen if the season goes sideways and it doesn't seem like, and De'Aaron is not eligible, because those things kind of go hand in hand. It's really tough to get all NBA, and Sabonis did it and he barely got it. He got third team as a 9 seed. So that's a situation where I think it's the toughest situation for De'Aaron. If he got exactly what Domantas Sabonis got last season and they're a 9, let's say they're a 9 seed, same exact thing happens, but he gets all NBA, De'Aaron has a decision to make, and I would assume he's probably going to go the route of the Supermax. Now, there is a world where that happens and the Kings decide to, I guess, not offer him the Supermax, and at that point you would trade him. But the question is, the biggest question here is, has De'Aaron Fox gotten enough help so far? And that's the question that I want to pose to you. 916-339-1140. Do you feel like De'Aaron Fox has gotten enough help so far? This is by far the best starting lineup that De'Aaron Fox has been a part of here in Sacramento. But the bench is nothing to write home about. He's playing with his buddy from Kentucky, Malik Monk. You bring in DeMar DeRozan, who's a future Hall of Famer, and De'Aaron Fox was a big part of that conversation, and he reached out to DeMar DeRozan, and he wanted to be a part of it. Obviously, Sabonis kind of does his thing, and Keegan Murray is a great young piece, and Keegan Murray and De'Aaron Fox have a pretty darn good relationship. You know, they spend the summers, they'll play one-on-one together. It's well documented. So, obviously, this is the most help that De'Aaron has ever gotten, and this is the best that De'Aaron has ever played to add on to that as well. So if things go awry, does De'Aaron say, well, y'all didn't give me any help? Well, De'Aaron, you just started playing at this level, and we went out and got you a Hall of Famer. So we're working on things here. The roster isn't complete. We know it needs more. But I would say that Monty McNair, as far as the timeline with De'Aaron Fox, has done things appropriately. The only argument I think that would be out there's two arguments. The first argument is that they should have done something last season, which is what we've seen with the Minnesota Timberwolves, Dallas Mavericks. They don't care that they made the playoffs last season. They will make adjustments. The Timberwolves did that, and the Mavs obviously did that as well. So you could be even more aggressive, or the other side is you get somebody else other than DeMar DeRozan. And we don't know how that conversation went with the front office and De'Aaron. Hey, we're looking to grab somebody. Who give us a priority list? Who do you like the most? We don't know what happened. All we know is that there are reports that De'Aaron Fox was a big part of talking to DeMar DeRozan, getting him in the building. Or I guess the other part of this is you should have done more. Maybe De'Aaron feels, well, you got DeMar DeRozan, but that's not enough. Could have done more this summer. Again, I will go back to the relationship with Keegan Murray. Everybody at this point thought that Keegan Murray would be taking that step forward, and he still can. So, as we try to answer the question, has De'Aaron Fox been given enough help? I think it's a rolling question. I think it's, hey, De'Aaron's starting to hit his prime. We're fully realizing that this dude could be one of the best Sacramento Kings ever. We already got Sabonis. We chose you over Tyrese Halliburton. We got you Sabonis. We got you a small forward, a wing that's supposed to be really good, and Keegan Murray. And now we got you an established star in the game like DeMar DeRozan. Now, and we were able to keep your buddy Malik Monk, and he's now in the starting lineup. Now it turns into some tough conversations. Okay, well, we're still not winning games yet. We're still not winning games. How much time do we give Keegan Murray? De'Aaron, hey, I love Keegan. But if you want us to make this roster better, Kevin Huerter, Trey Lyles, that could help. I don't know if that's going to be enough. How big of a swing should Monty want to take? What does that big swing look like? Should Keegan be on the table? Would De'Aaron sign off on it? Would they ask De'Aaron if they should sign off on it? So those are the questions that have to be asked. Has De'Aaron Fox been given enough help? I would say, as far as the timing of his career and how he's improved, yes. Sacramento is a different city than other cities and NBA towns where I will give grace to running it back last season. I always have, and I will stick to that stance. So moving forward, and you don't have to agree with that. You could say, no, Allen, they should have moved up. They should have taken a big swing last season. Who cares that they made the playoffs? That's fine too. And call in 916-339-1140 if that's your take, or if you agree, either way. But now moving forward, you get a DeMar DeRozan. Okay, now is when I believe you need to start being more aggressive, where it's, do we want to keep De'Aaron or not? Because we're messing around, dangling at Kevin Huerter, Trey Lyles, and is Dorian Smith going to fix every problem? How many Kings fans have even watched Dorian Finney-Smith play? Is that gonna keep De'Aaron in Sacramento? I don't know. I don't know, but I would say that I don't find anything egregious in what Monty McNair has done. If you wanted to argue something, or if I wanted to argue something, I would say that you shouldn't have been so connected to the Beam team, which is hard to say. But the only argument I would say is once De'Aaron did his thing, won Clutch Player of the Year, and last season when you knew this team wasn't going to be great, then you probably could have made that move last season. That's what I will say. Javier, we see you out there in Vacaville. We will get to you. You will kick off the next segment for us. Plenty of text to read through as well. Has De'Aaron Fox been given enough help so far in his career out here in Sacramento? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st Annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the Capitol for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st Annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th with Western Health Advantage, Gurnick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at sacktownsports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. Asking the question, has De'Aaron Fox been given enough help? Teams and fans are starting to daydream about De'Aaron Fox on their team, but before that happens, and a lot of people have been hard on De'Aaron Fox out here, but the other question is, has he been given enough help? If you look at some of the other stars in the league, would you say, hey, this would be enough for X player, this would be enough for Shea, this would be enough for Luka? And I'm not saying it is. I'm saying that would be the conversation. To a lesser degree, Ja Morant, Trae Young. Hey, this would be enough for them. Why isn't it enough for De'Aaron Fox? And again, that then goes to the question of, is De'Aaron Fox going to leave and still be that pure number one somewhere?
Okay, I got one follow-up question to this. So when you say, does he have enough help for what? Like, what is the expectation that we're trying to get to? Because we can do all the hypotheticals of if you drop Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on this team, how far would the Kings go? I guess maybe we should set some expectations for what enough help is. Is it enough to
be a mainstay in the playoffs?
Okay. See, I was curious if you meant expectation for the team or expectation for enough help to make him willing to sign the contract extension.
I guess it goes hand in hand, right?
Yeah, I guess it's just which bar is higher. Do the Kings need to be a perennial deep into the playoff contender for De'Aaron Fox to re-sign? And I guess the answer to that question, as I'm talking this through on the air, is, well, how much money is the contract worth? And we don't know that until we see the All-NBA teams in May.
And that's why so much is riding on this team, because, again, 9 seed Domas snuck into the All-NBA conversation. What are they, a 12, 11, or 12 seed right now? I don't think that's where they'll end up. But it helps to have a good team if you want to be a part of those All-NBA conversations. 916-339-1140. Let's go to Javier. Wants to be a part of the combo. What's up, Javier? You're on with Allen Stiles. What you got?
Hello, how you doing today, Mr. Stiles? I had a quick question before I get into my question and my comment. Is Watkins no longer part of the program?
Watkins is now doing digital for us, doing a great job with Frankie Cardicelli.
Oh, okay. So it's just you. Okay. Well, if you ever need a co-host, man, I got an undergrad, communication broadcasting degree on scholarship playing for his college football. So, I'd love to, if you ever need some help, man, I would do it for free, man, on a volunteer basis. So you ever let anybody know of any help you need, please ring my line. But
we'll do that, Javier. Thank you.
Sure. So, Bay Area cat just like you as well. But like I was saying with the Kings, I think a lot of people are sitting there, I think, being way too, I wouldn't say patient, but being way too passive with this whole, we're going to mortgage the future if we let go of Keegan Murray. The future is right now, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't see that, you're going to create, as they say in layman's terms, from the, outer edges of NBA media, the major market media for ESPN, et cetera, those type of news, nationwide coverage from these beat writers, a distilled and disgruntled star in De'Aaron Fox. I'm at the point now, I love Keegan Murray, but is it worth going and getting 10 under 500, 8 games under 500 because he can't get out of his shooting slump? Yeah. And it's not a matter of he's a player, he's a great player. But do you want to create a sense where De'Aaron is like, yo, we can't get out of our own way. We can't get out of the AC. I need to go compete while I'm in my late 20s, early 30s for a top 4 seed, whether it's in the Western Conference or Eastern Conference. And if I'm the Kings, I'm finding a disgruntled team with a disgruntled star, with a team that's not doing well, and I'm offering this package straight up. And if people are like, oh, that's ridiculous. Okay, well, when we're 8 games under 500 in a month or so, you guys are going to be stressing and sweating bullets. I'm calling New Orleans, and I'm offering them straight up Herter, Murray, Lyles, and Carter, 2 firsts and 3 seconds for Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, and Javonte Green. I'll even throw in an extra second-round pick and make it 3 second-round picks. I know that's extremely big, but, hey, you got to make the money work. Most importantly, Brandon Ingram is due for an extension. They don't want to pay him. We get the star that can help shoulder the load. Also, we get that defender we need, and Herb Jones, that we don't have on the perimeter. We have no perimeter defenders. And obviously, this deal can't be made because Javonte Green cannot be traded until December 15, 2024. But everyone can scoff and roll their eyebrows to the sky and, smack their lips and roll their eyes. Hey, when the Kings continue to play the way they're playing and Keegan Murray shooting 28% from the field the first of the year, and the Kings are, 12-20 or worse, we're going to be like, bro, what are we about to do? And then we're going to worry about, is he even going to sign the extension? Because you guys want to slow play this, mortgage our future. The future is now, dog.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. A couple good points there, Javier. Great stuff, as always. Well, I would say this about the Pelicans thing. I don't think that the Pelicans would move off of Brandon Ingram and Herb Jones simply because that's part of the reason they want to move off of Brandon Ingram, because they have too many of those long – the Kings don't have any wings besides Keegan Murray, and the Pelicans, they have too many. They got Brandon Ingram, they got Herb Jones, they got Trey Murphy, but I do think it's better to have too many than to not have enough. So I don't see them moving off of – I don't think your deal was crazy, but I don't see the Pelicans moving off of Herb Jones. That's part of the reason they want to move off of Brandon Ingram.
Also, their 6th man at that point would be Isaac Jones, and their 7th man would be Colby, I guess. I mean, he traded the entire bench, and the bench isn't that good in the first place.
The other thing is, I don't even know how the Pelicans are looking at Brandon Ingram now, since Zion can't get on the floor. They might have lucked out with not moving Brandon Ingram, because now they might I know there's only so much money with these aprons and you probably still can't pay him, but now with the Zion thing, maybe they want to sell Zion or whatever that is. And Zion already got paid, but maybe they want to keep Brandon Ingram now. I don't know what they're in a tough spot because Zion can't stay on the floor.
Sure, but it's also hard to come back from you're eligible for an extension this offseason. We've said we're straight up not going to pay you. Like it's hard to come back from that in terms of rebuilding the relationship. Yeah. Sure, but what's so weird about the Pelicans right now, and I don't know what direction this influences, their season is over. And so it's so weird to be in this position where it's like they wanted to run it back with the group that they had been investing in for 4 years. Mm-hmm. And just like with the bad injury luck, it's like their season is over. They're 4-17. There's no chance they're coming back.
They should, and I don't know their draft situation, but assuming they have their first round pick, they should be trying to capture the flag. They should be looking at Cooper Flag and pull what the Warriors tried to do, but they drafted James Wiseman, who stunk. But they should be trying to basically and do what the Niners did with Nick Bosa, stink this year, get a really high pick that you have no business getting, and then go into the next season and say, okay, we're ready to cook again. Similar to what the Grizzlies did. They decided to take Zach Edey, but they had a pick that they really had no business taking because of all the injuries from last season.
Yeah, by the way, the Pelicans do have their own first-round pick this year, so they can no trades, no nothing. But it's just such a weird spot. I don't know if this makes Brandon Ingram more available for trade at the deadline or less available for the trade at the deadline. Like, I just don't know what to do with the Pelicans. And honestly, if I were the Kings, I would just kind of like not do business with the Pelicans at this point. Like, I genuinely have no idea what sense of direction their franchise is going, which maybe means you have a chance to swing a good deal or something like that because they don't know what direction they're going. They don't even know if David Griffin is going to be running the team next year.
Right. They're probably unfortunately you don't want to be the first because you don't know what the Pelicans are thinking. Let's take it to what Brandon Ingram would do on the Kings. You know, I know he's gotten better at shooting the three ball, but I mean, brother Javier, how many mid ranges can we take at this point between DeMar DeRozan, De'Aaron Fox, and Brandon Ingram? That spacing is not great, brother. Spacing's not great.
What the starting five at this point would be De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, DeMar DeRozan, Brandon Ingram, Domantas Sabonis.
I don't know.
Who's going to be our corner shooter?
Now, look, we could have a conversation if you wanted, and this might sound crazy because we made fun of this guy a lot, but you bring in Brandon Ingram, if you do continue to start Malik Monk, do you have a DeMar six-man conversation? I think you could have the conversation. At least you break up some of the monotony and you have DeMar come in and be that spark plug off the bench. That is not me saying it. That is me saying I don't think you can start Brandon Ingram and DeMar DeRozan and De'Aaron Fox.
And I think the bigger part is like, okay, even if you don't want to bag on Brandon Ingram for the mid-range thing because his game has changed a bit, he's also really ball dominant. Yeah. And the Kings already have a lot of ball dominant players now, even if not in the starting lineup, in the closing lineup. So I don't think that the Pelicans, again, this is all hypotheticals, but once you made the call to bring in DeMar DeRozan, I thought the Brandon Ingram stuff was done.
I think most of us felt like that.
But maybe circumstances have changed at this point. I have no idea what the Pelicans are going to do, right? I have no idea if they're going to run it back. I have no idea if they're going to try and buy. I have no idea if they're going to capture the flag. I have no idea if they're going to fire David Griffin. I have no idea if they're going to extend David Griffin. I have no idea what the Pelicans are going to do next. And therefore, that scares me in terms of like, the Kings only have one all-in move left. Are you sure you want to do it with the team that is 4-17 and you don't really know their sense of direction?
I don't think you should. This is from the 916 from Jeff. Why are you worried about Fox leaving? I don't think he's a max player. I would prefer a better shooter. Most stars play for multiple teams in their careers. We need more than one player, and we could get help at a couple of spots. That's from Jeff. Yeah, I do wonder, what is there a world where there's a De'Aaron Fox haul that doesn't blow the whole thing up, right? Is there a De'Aaron Fox haul, whether it's to the Rockets or somebody with some guys that are getting close to their prime and Sabonis could still feel, and DeMar DeRozan, hey, we still have a shot at this, and they're going to be good by the time Sabonis is 28 now. So by the time I'm 30, 31, whatever it is, we could be rocking and rolling. Because a lot of people, I think, when you think a haul for De'Aaron Fox, it's just, all right, well, we're just going to get a bunch of picks. But at that point, then why are you holding on to Domantas Sabonis? You might as well just blow the whole thing up. So I am curious, what is a tweak in the roster where you get a haul for De'Aaron Fox, but you're also not blowing the whole thing up? Because if you're getting just a bunch of picks for De'Aaron Fox, why even keep Domantas Sabonis? Why not just go full OKC and just blow it up from there? As we continue the conversation, the Kings are not dead yet. Like we said, we are going to be more optimistic on today's show. More of your calls, more of your texts, and we have some breakdowns of other teams that were in similar situations and ended up making runs. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Finally here, Wendy's new salted caramel frosty. It's cold, salted, yet perfectly sweet, delicious, and it's at the top of Santa's Christmas list.
The holidays are always a great time to get together with family and friends, but nothing beats the thrill of Stockton Honda's deals. During Happy Honda Days, find the perfect ride in person or online. With over 400 new Hondas ready to go, now is the time to buy at Northern California's #1 Honda deal, Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company sold on report.
Ready for winter? Forecasters are already predicting record sick days. Don't become a healthcare statistic. Fight sickness with fitness. Create a daily workout and stick to it. Let the Good Feet store help you meet your workout goals. With Good Feet Arch Supports, the pain in your feet, knees, hips, and back become history. And Good Feet Arch Supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Visit goodfeet.com for an appointment or just stop in. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville, and in Reno on South Virginia Street.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Talking De'Aaron Fox, we're also going to get into why the Kings are not done yet. They're not done yet. Other stories, NBA stories of teams that have started out a bit slow but still figured it out. About to get to TC here. From the 916, Fox used to have a young, aggressive mindset that wasn't poisoned by the franchise. Now he's just another losing king. Jeez, 916. Go get a taco. Get an Al Pastor taco, man.
Pineapple and everything.
Please. Come on now.
By the way, we kind of went off track from that, but thank you to all the people who are sending in recommendations for places to go.
That's right. Plenty of tacos.
One of them was right down the street from my house, so I appreciate it.
There you go. Keep them coming. Best place for Allen Stiles to get an Al Pastor taco. Hold the pineapples, please, but also hold the judgment. 916-339-1140. Let's get to TC. Wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, TC? What you got?
What's up with it, Allen, man? What's going on with y'all?
Man, getting through this Tuesday.
For sure. Me too, man. Hey, yeah, so, man, shout out to Hobby, man. That's the homie, man. We play football together, man. Flag on the, you know what I mean?
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, man. So look, hey, I like, you know what? I like that trade. You know what I'm saying? We were at that point, we would just have to make everything work, right? We would get the pieces in and make them work. But I'm leaning more towards just a quick, not really a quick fix, but like a tweak, because that's what we're looking for, right? So a couple callers, what the guy was talking about, getting older guys on the bench. Well, we already got one, Jay Crowder, right? Y'all heard me say before, why not go get Robert Covington, right? So now we got 2 3-and-D mentality, no pushover. Both those guys is gonna bring that mentality. Crowder and the boy Covington. They've been doing it their whole careers, bro. So that's our bench right there. Along with Trey Lyles and everybody else gonna have to come along. But if we get those 2 dudes, actually Robert Covington, our bench will be solidified. And then the trade that we should make, try to go get the boy Robert Williams from where's he at? Ain't he in Portland?
Portland, yeah.
That's the dunker guy that we need. The putback guy. That's that dunker guy that we need in the dunker spot. And we take off from there, bro. That's it. We don't need nothing drastic. I was with Javi's, point, but I'm with the whole Bobby Portis, maybe going to get him Cam Johnson. But if you're talking about like a for now fix right now, where we could just get something that make us roll, that's the route right there, bro. Let me know.
Thanks for the call, TC. Yeah, Robert Williams, definitely a name that has come up time and time again, not just with the Kings, but with other teams as well. You just have the Blazers with just too many centers. I mean, you have Robert Williams, you have DeAndre Ayton, you have Donovan Clingan, who they just drafted. So they're not going to want to. They still have Duop Reed. They're not going to want to continue to carry 4 centers. I think the Kings need more than that. I mean, look, the Matisse Thybulle thing, I don't know if he's injured or he hasn't really been playing for the Blazers. I think he's been out.
Yeah.
But those are 2 guys that shores up your defense. And I think Robert Williams would be coming off the bench. My guess is he would, because, you also have the spacing conversation. Even though Domas has been shooting the 3-ball more, I still don't think you want him guarding 4. A lot of times when we talk about the 4 conversation with Domas, it's, hey, well, he can space the floor still. It's also the defensive end. You want Domas guarding 4s and guys like that they can move pretty well. And Domas defensively, he's just a bit of a tweener. That's what he is. He's not a rim protector, but he doesn't have that. You can't guard the 4s like a Draymond Green could. So he's just a bit of a tweener in that.
I think the Robert Williams one is a little unrealistic for the Kings because it's that blend of style and playing time. Like, I think Robert Williams, a team that needs like a Clint Capella type starting 5, I feel like would be the better team for Robert Williams. I don't know who that team is, but I know it's not really the Kings at this point.
Yeah.
I really want Matisse Thybulle. And even if it only takes us, I mean, they kind of gave away all their 2nd-round picks this offseason. But if they could just get him for a couple 2nd-round picks, I mean, that would be just a great. I think people would have a lot fewer complaints about the bench depth if you just drop Matisse Thybulle and Jay Crowder together on that team.
That's true. Yesterday, we discussed the Kings' philosophy and how if Sabonis was moved, would he still be the same guy because of all the DHOs and things like that? And what happens if you gave De'Aaron Fox more of a traditional setup when you're not running everything through Sabonis? You just give him a Valanciunas, give him a Robert Williams, giving him a DeAndre Ayton, and go more traditional there. I know that Blazers probably won't move off of him because he's only 23, but if you could cook up a Robert Williams, Denny Avdia trade, I'm in. I mean, he's locked down for 4 years, making $15.6 million, 6'9". He's a 4 in a way, a 3-4 type guy. He can score the basketball. He's 23 years old. I know the Blazers, they just got him, and he fits their timeline just as much as anyone. But if you could cook up something, what do they say? Tired Jeremy Grant to the Kings, wired Denny Avdia to the Kings. That's what I would do. And I know Carmichael Dave was also a big fan of him as well. Getting back to the Kings aren't dead conversation. So here are some breakdowns of teams that were in similar situations and still ended up making a run in the playoffs. Last year, December 3rd, 2023, the Los Angeles Clippers were 9-10 in 10th place in the Western Conference. like the Kings, they were trying to work a third superstar into their offense, James Harden, with Paul George and Kawhi, and they ended up winning 51 games last season and got the 4 seed in the West. 2 years ago, this is probably the most infamous one. The Los Angeles Lakers were 9-12, same as the Sacramento Kings. They started 2-13. They ended up going to the Western Conference Finals after trading for D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt. That feels like the last time Jared Vanderbilt has actually played a basketball game.
Yeah, it was that random series.
Rui Hachimura and a couple others.
Yeah, Lonnie Walker. Remember Lonnie
Walker, the king of the fourth.
20 points in a playoff game. That's still weird that happened. Lonnie Walker scored 20 points in the fourth quarter of a playoff game.
3 years ago, December 3rd, 2021, the Minnesota Timberwolves were 11-12, sitting 10th place in the West. How did their season go? 46 wins, 7th seed in the West, and won a play-in game versus the Clippers, the first time they had advanced in the postseason since 2004, creating the legendary first ballot Hall of Fame meme of Patrick Beverley, jumping up on the table and throwing his jersey into the crowd. Kyle, that's not just your favorite moment. That one is going down in history. The crying, the snot coming out of his nose.
Yeah, you're hugging. Karl Anthony Towns was hugging his girlfriend like he had just won the finals.
Is that the same game? I can't remember. When he blows a kiss to the crowd, that's the same game.
So it was against the Clippers, and Patrick Beverley gets this game-winning steal, and then he gets fouled, and he's blowing kisses to the crowd as Minnesota is celebrating their greatest hero. I loved that moment so much. I know it got clowned afterwards, but why do we have to gatekeep this stuff? When the Kings won the play-in game against the Warriors last year, I wanted them to do the same thing. I wanted them to jump up on tables and throw towels and boo Klay Thompson off the floor.
But that was to get into the playoffs, though.
Yeah, so what?
But they didn't get in.
Just do dumb stuff like that. I loved it so much. When the Timberwolves won a play-in game, and Patrick Beverley and Anthony Edwards both jumped up on the table, and Beverly threw the jersey, and they were crying and kissing babies. It was so fun. I loved it so much.
Well, there you have it. Those are a couple examples here just in the last couple of years from 2021, 2022, and 2023, where teams started out even worse than the Kings and ended up turning it around. I think the one that feels the most unrealistic would be the Warriors, or excuse me, the Kings, not the Kings, the Lakers situation, because that was a crazy. They overhauled the whole roster almost at the trade deadline, and that's just not something. Number one, I think is going to happen, and number two, I think is very realistic and sustainable. The Lakers haven't done better since, and everyone thought, well, just give this team a whole season. Didn't work out. But the other two, the Clippers working in Harden, that one to me is the most similar to the Kings. And for them to get all the way to the 4th seed, and they were 9-10, that's the one where I'm thinking, all right, I know the Kings are 9-12, not 9-10, but you can get hot here. Managing to get what you said, they got 51 wins. That's crazy.
Yeah, and this is why I like these 3 examples so much, is that all of the teams started from relatively the same place. We said the Clippers were 9-10, Lakers were 9-12, Timberwolves were 10-11. Like, everyone started from relatively the same place, and each of them did it in different ways to get back into the picture, right? Like, the Lakers overhauled the roster. They got rid of Westbrook. They got rid of a bunch of other. They ended up bringing in D'Angelo Russell. They made all sorts of trades. Meanwhile, the Clippers, they just kind of figured it out by playing together. Remember the funny meme of James Harden saying, "When we figure this out, we're going to be scary."
Yeah,
that was right around this time, actually, last year. James Harden said, "Once we figure this out, we're going to be scary," and they were until they got hurt again. But the Timberwolves one is interesting because I'm looking at that team from that year. It was basically the same starting lineup the whole year. It was D'Angelo Russell, 20-year-old Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Jared Vanderbilt, Karl Anthony Towns, and then Patrick Beverly, obviously, and Malik Beasley and Torian Prince and guys like that. But basically, they just kept that group together, and obviously a lot younger than this Kings team, but they eventually just worked through it and climbed their way back into the 7 seed. And I know Kings fans might say, oh, it's only the 7 seed. We'd be a play-in team at that point. Well, if the Kings can get to the 7 seed by the end of the season, that means they're going to win probably, 48 games, 50 games in this Western Conference?
Well, that's the other thing as well. Is it time? At what point do we start changing our expectations? Because that's the last thing we wanted. We wanted to be having 4 seed, 3 seed, 4 seed, 5 seed conversations. Our hope was to not be anywhere near the play-in. Even just being 21 games in, again, December is going to tell us a lot about this team.
Or at the very least, when they signed DeMar DeRozan, I was talking to Brennan Nunez about this, and it was kind of like it was a floor raiser for the Kings, right? Like, we didn't expect to be worse than 9th by bringing in DeMar DeRozan, even if it doesn't help the upside of the team. No one thought the floor was going to fall out from under them by adding DeMar DeRozan. So if they get back to 7 or 8, I mean, maybe not by March, but if they get back there by January or February, I mean, you're feeling pretty good about the direction this thing is headed. And a lot of the concerns people have are there. Maybe they still make a trade. Doesn't preclude them from making a trade, but you're still feeling a lot better about the state of things, which I could go back and look also, but I'm guessing that Timberwolves team climbed back to 500 by about January and February. That Lakers team got back to 500 by the end of December. I think the Clippers ran off a win streak in December, so it's like they got back to 500 relatively quickly.
Yeah, I'm looking here just as we're talking about the Timberwolves, and I will say, as we have conversations about Monty McNair and the moves that have been made, you do, I don't know if luck is the right word, but there does come a point where you got to hit on somebody, right? Because I'm looking at the past of one Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and this guy, he's kind of bounced around. He's gotten traded a couple times. He finds his way. He was drafted by the Nets. He was traded by the Nets. This is in 2019 with Alan Crabb and a 2020 first round pick to the Hawks. All right. Then at the next day, he's traded by the Hawks, and he finds his way in New Orleans. So he plays with New Orleans. He's doing his thing in the G League, gets traded from New Orleans, okay, to the Blazers. Then, long story short, he ends up with the Jazz, then gets traded from the Jazz with Mike Conley to the Timberwolves, and he ends up with the Timberwolves. And you're thinking, okay, he was kind of a sweetener along the way. And that guy he was drafted in the first round, 17th pick. This guy's kind of turned into a stud. It's really just, hey, both Jaden McDaniels and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, they're going to lock you down. We don't necessarily play them at the same time because they do a lot of the same things. But as long as one of them is hitting their shots, we're going to be in the conversation. Now, do the Timberwolves decide that they still need both of them down the line? Who knows? But now you're probably going to get much more back if you ever do decide to move on from Nickeil Alexander-Walker, because there seemed like the Kings that would pray for a guy like that. So I don't know if luck is the right word, but when it comes to some of these dudes that have been sweeteners and ended up just and maybe a part of that is the organization and the growth, and it's both, I would say. But it gets to a point where you got to start hitting on some of these dudes. And I'll give Monty McNair credit I would put Keon Ellis in a similar conversation.
I'll give you the example. So when they traded Marvin Bagley to Detroit, you know who was a sweetener in that deal? It was Trey Lyles. Had 2 years left on the deal.
Yeah.
Had a really good contract year,
right,
and he's still around 4 years later. Marvin Bagley's been traded again, but Trey Lyles is still here.
Right. So I would count that as a win in some capacity. You end up signing with this guy longer term. Now, lately, you haven't been getting what you want to get, but that was a deal where, hey, we got more out of the deal than what we gave away. All right. Can the Kings dig themselves out of this hole? In the next 2 weeks, we go over the games that are coming up. More of your calls, more of your texts, more of your Sack Chat. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Cyber Week sale, save 20% on most Sleep Number smart beds, plus free home delivery with any base. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Light the world through the giving machines. Experience the joy of giving this season and helping those in need. Now through January 1st at the Galleria Mall Roseville and Vintage Fair Mall Modesto.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
There is some video going around of, this is a guy that we've talked a lot about. Everybody wants to talk about him. I'm watching the video right here from Sean Cunningham, Sacramento Kings rookie Devin Carter, ramping up workouts over the past week. This was a glimpse of his on-court activity following today's shoot-around, watching him shoot, watching him go through drills, bang bodies. He's making his return. I mean, January will be here before we know it. I don't think he'll solve all of the problems that the Kings have had. But look, the Kings can get healthy. And if you're just now joining, thank you for joining. We are in hour 3 now. Allen Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. But as we're trying to be more optimistic with game night tonight, obviously you can listen to it as you can listen to all Sacramento Kings games here on the flagship, your home of the Sacramento Kings. Okay, you look, just stay up. And I'm not saying Devin Carter is going to be the savior, but just get healthy. You're probably going to get Kevin Huerter back tonight. Get healthy. Get Kevin Huerter back. Get Trey Lyles back. Get Keegan Murray's confidence rolling again. You get to January and you build that cohesiveness, by the way. Then you get to January, Devin Carter joins you. Keon Ellis is still doing his thing on the bench. You're getting more from the bench. Look, realistically, we're probably looking at the hopes of a 5-6 seed. That's what I see realistically, unless you get crazy hot. And I know we referenced the Clippers from a couple years ago who were 9-10 and ended up winning 51. Anything's possible. As of right now, I'm just trying to stay out of the play-in. That's where I'm at, which is crazy because we were banging on national media for hating on the Kings. We're banging on national media for hating on the Kings, and maybe that's not how everybody else feels, but that's where I'm at right now. Just try to stay out of the play-in. 916-339-1140. Got some calls stacking up here. Let's get to Ashley. Wants to be a part of the convo. What's up, Ashley? What you got?
Not much, but I've been thinking lately, and the more I think about it, I know how teams, and especially being a Niners fan, I've seen it. Teams typically look for a scapegoat when things are looking bad. Mm-hmm. And I hope that this doesn't end up being the case, but if the Kings don't turn it around soon, do we look to make a trade where we move DeRozan and kind of scapegoat him if things turn around?
Yeah, that's a great call, Ashley. And I brought that up yesterday. The question is, and the reason I don't know that it will happen, well, a couple reasons. The first reason is I'm not really sure where DeMar DeRozan's value is. If you close your eyes, not if you're driving, but if you try to think about who is a DeMar DeRozan away from, and obviously you have to wait to move him because he was one of those recently signed players. But if you think about who is a DeMar DeRozan away from championship contention, who is that? Who is that team? I don't think it's crazy that he could go somewhere else and be a six-man somewhere. I think that's quite possible. But who is a DeMar DeRozan away? I'm sure those teams are out there, but then it has to be a team that's a DeMar DeRozan away and willing to give what you want in return. So you got to find someone who is a DeMar DeRozan away, and then after you find someone who's a DeMar DeRozan away, do they have the assets that the Kings want? And I just don't know how big that pool is. The second thing I would say, and I just say this from my opinion, I think ownership likes having DeMar DeRozan on the team. I think ownership likes having a guy that is known in pop culture and was in the Kendrick Lamar video. I know it might sound silly to some, but I think they like that. I really do. I don't think it's enough that they wouldn't move him, but I think the combination of that as well as what DeMar does, let's not, disrespect DeMar and what he does on the court, but I think the combination of those things and who out there would be looking for somebody like DeMar, I don't think he moves, but look, it is a discussion that could be had, and I think anything is possible right now, and I think everything is on the table. So again, there were conversations, if we want to get uncomfortable, there were conversations as far as DeMar is concerned, as much as he liked Sacramento and wanted to be a part of a California team, there were conversations that Sacramento straight up was able to pay him the most, right? And there were teams out there that weren't necessarily willing to pay him as much as what the Kings were willing to pay him. So he's 35 right now. He's making $23.4 million. He'll be 36 next season. He'll make 24.7. He'll be 37 the season after that. He'll make 25.7. So is there a team out there that is willing to take on that contract and thinks that will help, and DeMar, he's another one that's hard to value. So I don't think he moves, but I definitely have gone through that exercise in my head as well.
Have you ever seen the conversation about, I haven't really talked to you about it, the contract that he got in the first place was a little lower than he was expecting?
Yeah.
And I know Sacramento's never been a big free agent destination, but it wasn't a surprise that the Kings probably offered him the most money because other than the Bulls, do you remember another team that was really in the bidding? I mean, I know the Lakers were connected.
They didn't even, but he said the Lakers didn't even call, or he had no conversation with the Lakers or the Clippers for that matter.
Yeah, and so that's the part that I've always looked at, which is interesting from the very beginning with DeRozan. And it's not an indictment of DeRozan or his play or anything. It's like, if he got $10 million less than a lot of people were expecting with a team that traditionally doesn't sign future Hall of Famers unless it's their last contract like Vince Carter,
right?
Then is the league telling you that DeRozan isn't that guy anymore? And he put a lot of that to bed pretty early in the season. But when they first made the signing, I was like, I didn't think DeRozan was at that stage of his career where he was signing a 2-year, $50 million deal with an option for a third year.
Well, I don't think the league is saying that he's not there. I think the league is saying they're just not willing to pay for what they think he'll bring. They'd rather see what's up with a young player that can shoot the three ball a little bit better. I think most teams are in win now mode, or all in win now mode, and other teams are in tank mode. The Kings are in a weird space that fit DeMar DeRozan because it's just, we just want to be better mode. And they haven't been. That's the other issue. Mark, don't go anywhere. You will kick off our 12:30 segment. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st Annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the Capitol for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st Annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th with Shriners Children's Northern California, Gurnick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at sacktownsports.com.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, Folsom Lake Ford. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, like America's best-selling F-Series. Check out a huge selection of Mavericks, F-150s, and Super Duty trucks, or tech-filled SUVs like Explorers and Expeditions. Plus a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. All in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with zero down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest finance rates. And Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they are my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. For 35 years and counting, come down and take a test drive today. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit KHTK.com.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Tom's Watch Bar, your ultimate sports watching destination for all Kings games, hosted live by Sacktown Sports. With 360-degree viewing, surround sound, premium food and drink, and game day vibes that match being at the game, Tom's Watch Bar is the ultimate game day experience for all Sacramento Kings fans.
The Big O Tires Black Friday sale is still going. Buy 3, get 1 free on hundreds of select tires, including our exclusive Big O branded tires. Hurry before the Black Friday sale ends December 8th. Installation required. Disposal fees extra. Not valid with other offers. See Big O dealer for details.
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Kyle Draper for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. It's that time of year. You know what time of year it is. The Mercedes-Benz Vans year-end sales event is underway. Don't think twice, because it's the perfect opportunity to take your drive to the next level. They're perfect for any business needs. Mercedes-Benz Vans, they offer a wide range of commercial vehicles. Trust me on this. They got Sprinter vans. You could turn it into a worker cargo van, a worker passenger van, or how about just a plain old passenger van? I could do that also. They're fully customizable. And one of the things I love about their Sprinter vans, I'm a big guy, I could fit in them comfortably. So now is the time to head down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. They can help you with all your van needs. Ask about customer cash and even special financing options. And business owners, now is the time to take advantage of those year-end tax breaks. So take the short drive down I-5 or go online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them your boy Drape sent you.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
In 30 minutes, we're giving away a pair of tickets to see Thomas Rhett at the Shoreline Amphitheater on September 27th, 2025. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m., but you won't have to handle those tickets online. If you hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 p.m., Kyle will pick that lucky number. For more information, visit sacktownsports.com, 1140. And we know that Mark knows that number because he's on the line. Mark wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Mark? What you got for us?
How's it going, guys? I know I don't have a whole lot of time. I just wanted to say, I'm 40 years old, and I saw Davion Mitchell get traded. The Kings are 8-12 or 8-11, I think. I think they're living through their decisions. Like, Monte McNair's a new GM for this team. Fox wasn't his guy. I'm not trying to throw Fox under the bus, but Fox wasn't his guy. And he picked up Halliburton and Mitchell. He picked up 2 point guards, and he traded both of them to keep Fox.
Right.
I don't understand this thing about, like, Fox. People don't vote for him to make the All-Star team, but it's not his fault. He's had different coaches and all that. But I'm a little confused with the Halliburton Mitchell thing, because now the team has no floor general. And people are raving about Keon Ellis. He's not Marcus Smart to me. I don't see Marcus Smart in Keon Ellis. I don't see the star defender. I just don't see that. I don't see it yet. He's a good three-point shooter. That's all I know about Keon. He's a good three-point shooter. Davion Mitchell was an all-around, well-rounded basketball player. Yeah, he was a little short, but he was a good wing defender. I seen him guard Paul George one-on-one. He was a good guy. He didn't develop. That kind of goes to Mike Brown and his staff. If he's not developing, he was drafted 9th overall. That's all I got to say, really. But I think they're living through the decisions that was made. And we're in a new era. These youngsters, this is not the 90s or the 80s. These youngsters, I don't get this good game, bad game. I don't understand that at all. Patrick Ewing had maybe 12 games. Those were bad games where he had 8 points and 6 rebounds. I don't understand this good game back. So if Keegan Murray has a 30-point game, all of a sudden that's he had a good game. That I don't get it now with these youngsters.
Thanks for the call, Mark. Yeah, great stuff. Well, I think most people would say that they feel like Keon Ellis has a higher ceiling than Davion Mitchell. He played better than Davion Mitchell last season, and Davion Mitchell was given a couple years before Keon Ellis was even a thought. So I think the issue was that was kind of last season was kind of the last hurrah for Davion, and the Kings were going to have to think about, okay, are we going to extend this guy? What are we going to do here? And then you have Keon Ellis come in. So it was just basically a timing thing, the Tyrese Halliburton. And yeah, I know there was a mention, Mark, about the whole floor general thing. I don't know if that's more of a traditional point guard. I do think that De'Aaron, there's days where De'Aaron is very pass first. And, to that point, the new point guard, a lot of them are score first. And, you look around the league and Tyrese Halliburton, he's gotten flack for hunting assists and, not being as aggressive or gifted offensively as some of the other guys in the league. Keon Ellis, I maybe there is a world where Keon Ellis is a bit overvalued here in Sacramento, but I do think I think the Davion Mitchell thing, if you want to argue that he wasn't developed as well, I think you could definitely make that argument. But as far as you have 1 year to choose between Davion and Keon Ellis, I think most people would have chosen Keon Ellis. But yeah, if you want to make the argument and say, hey, we're in this position because they didn't develop Davion well enough, I hear you on that. I can hear you on that. We'll see what happens in Toronto. He's getting plenty of opportunities out there. I still follow him on Instagram, so I see he's got some chain. He was wearing a chain. They had his plus or minus. He was the player of the game for them, and he's done some things. So
he's playing a lot of minutes.
That's what he needed. That's what he needed. And look, as we say on the Monty McNair train, I don't think this is going to make people feel great either. This is from Sean Cunningham. Look at this Sacramento connection. The 2 rookies from the capital city, Jalen Wells, Folsom High School, and Sac native Jared McCain, both named NBA Rookies of the Month.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool. Neither of them in a Kings jersey, though.
Sure, but how cool is that the Rookie of the Month in the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference were 30 miles apart from each other?
Here's a question. 916-339-1140. Is that cool, or does it just make you salty? Like I said, there's video out. Devin Carter, he's getting ready to go. You know, he's getting ramped up for sure. But is that cool to you? You're a Sacramento native. The 2 rookies of the month, Jalen Wells. You know I love his story. Both started at Sonoma State. Neither of us ended at Sonoma State. Jalen Wells, second round guy.
Same story.
Same story.
You both made it. One made it. One is Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month, and or Western Conference Rookie of the Month, and you're the host of
I'm talking about
afternoon or midday radio in his hometown.
And then you have Jared McCain, high school in SoCal, but Sac native. You know what he's been doing. Jalen Wells, 12 points per game on the Grizzlies, 3 rebounds per game, shooting 39% from 3-point range. Jared McCain, 16 points per game. I know the Sixers stink, but 16 points per game, 2.6 assists per game, shooting 90 from the free throw line. So, hey, is it cool? Does it make you salty? I'll tell you this much, Kyle. Again, this is from Michael Scotto, again from Hoops Hype. The Dallas Mavericks and Houston Rockets have been mentioned as potential destinations for one Jimmy Butler. He says, with league circles, there's been quiet discourse about whether the Houston Rockets or Dallas Mavericks will eventually land Butler, a Texas native, should he and Miami decide to part ways. For now, however, the Rockets are among the top teams with a young core, and the Mavericks remain a contender in the tightly competitive Western Conference. It's also worth noting executives who would have checked in on Butler got the impression that Miami wants to figure out their star's future after the season. I mean, the Mavs, I'm assuming they're not moving off of Klay Thompson or Kyrie Irving. We're talking about.
I wouldn't go there with Klay Thompson.
Well, maybe Klay, but so now you're cooking up Kyrie, Luka, and Jimmy Butler. I mean, I'm not even a big Jimmy Butler guy, but you throw him on a team. I don't like Jimmy Butler on the Kings. I don't think that's enough, and you definitely can't do that with DeMar DeRozan anymore. But Jimmy Butler with Kyrie and Luka, that's interesting. And I'm telling y'all right now, these Houston Rockets, they're going to make a deal. They have a lot of young talent. Somebody is going to make a deal with the Rockets. The Rockets are trying to accelerate their process very soon.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Rockets a lot more in our game preview coming up, but also for the Jimmy Butler aspect of it, like, why does he want to go to those teams other than that's where he grew up and he wants to go live in Texas? I don't understand the fit with either of those teams.
I can't see Jimmy liking playing with Luka. I'll tell you that much right now. I can't see that at all. With all the maybe he'll stop Luka from crying as much, possibly, but I can't even see that, really. As far as the Rockets are concerned, Jimmy, I know he's had to babysit before. I don't know how much he enjoys it, but these guys are getting older too. They got Fred VanVleet. They got some older guys.
The Houston one makes sense. He's from Houston.
Yeah.
That one makes all the sense in the world. He's from Houston. He wants to go back to Houston.
Şengün, Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, Jimmy Butler.
But they don't match his timeline. That's why it's all of it is very strange. But I don't think there would be a shortage of Jimmy Butler suitors. I just don't know why it's those two. Why would those two be the teams that Jimmy Butler is interested in going to play for?
Well, I think that means that there are other teams involved we're just not hearing about yet. I wouldn't sleep on the Warriors. They've fallen back to earth. They can't find a second scorer. Buddy Hield is not dropping 20 off the bench anymore, and they lose DeAnthony Melton. So they're going to be teams. Everybody thinks, okay, go ahead, let's make some moves. These teams start cooling off. The Lakers, teams like that start cooling off. There's going to be a lot of buyers out there, just like last season.
I don't know if really anyone's involved yet because, honestly, I don't think the I think the Jimmy to Miami thing is just a money thing. I don't know if Miami would offer him a contract that he can't refuse, but also like, I just don't think Jimmy Butler is going to get number one money anywhere, and he's going around in Miami because he is the number one. Now he could get number two money, like $35 million a year, slightly less than a max, but like, I think he just needs one team, right? He just needs one team to be willing to pay him like a number one.
I think Jimmy needs to get real, but maybe I'm going to have egg on my face, and there's a sucker born every day. And if the Rockets can bring Jimmy home as their shining star and say, hey, now we're ready to go with our coaching staff and how good Ime Udoka is, and they find a way to keep Jalen Green. Maybe they make a run for it. Asar Thompson, guys like that, they go to the Heat and they get the Heat culture put on them. Maybe that's
I was going to say, what do you think of it from the Miami standpoint? Because Miami, if they move off of Jimmy Butler, are they retooling? Are they rebuilding?
They're retooling.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Are they in a 3-team trade situation where they go and get I don't know, a Siakam or a player like that? I'm just throwing out Siakam because his name always gets thrown out in those situations. But like, what is Miami just saying we'll take the Thompson and the Tari Easons and
I think
go
so.
That way? Really?
I think with Eric Spoelstra, it's kind of a gift and a curse. You always feel like you can do more with less. So that's why they always have less. I think that's where they're at.
Sure, but they don't really have. I mean, I guess you could say Bam Adebayo is a true.
I'm saying if
one.
they move on from Jimmy.
Yeah, but in that situation, let's do that hypothetical. Even though I don't think it'll happen, let's just do the hypothetical. You're going to go with a lineup of Jovic, Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, Reed Shepherd, and Bam. Like, I don't think that team is competing for a top 4 seed in the East.
Maybe not. But that. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's get back to the Kings and what the Kings can do and how they can dig themselves out of the hole. Will they? We'll talk about the games that are coming up for the Sacramento Kings starting tonight with the Houston Rockets. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Hey there, you and aisle 2. I see you by the fiber and laxatives. You still using those to manage your constipation with belly pain? If your symptoms keep coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. So you may need more than over-the-counter treatments to manage it. Ask your doctor about how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Ba, 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 ba. Yep, 'tis the season. Hey, if you take pride in your gift giving, here's a great idea for you. Gift cards from the Good Feet store. Okay, so arch supports aren't exactly what they've been hinting for, but you know they'd love them. And with the Good Feet lifetime warranty, it's a gift they'll enjoy forever. Buy a Good Feet gift card now, and Good Feet will boost its value 20%. That's a 20% gift from the Good Feet store. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville, and in Reno on South Virginia Street.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Spicy take here from the 916. Fox and Jimmy will meet up in Texas. Fox is gone.
H-Town, stand up.
That would be interesting.
Would it?
De'Aaron Fox, Jimmy Butler.
What, Şengün?
Şengün, Fred VanVleet.
Well, I think Fred VanVleet's got to go.
He's going somewhere.
Deals. Yeah.
He's going somewhere.
It's probably Fox. I mean, okay, fine. Let's do the trade machine. Oh, they're going to force me to do the trade machine again, but it would probably be just off the top of my head, Fox, Jalen Green, Jimmy Butler, Şengün, and Jabari Smith Jr. maybe.
Yeah. And is that enough? Who knows? Well, he's a Sacramento King right now, and hopefully he stays a Sacramento King. The question is, can the Sacramento Kings get back on the right track? Can the Kings dig themselves out of a hole that they've put themselves in the next 2 weeks? They're 3 games back of the 8 seed Phoenix Suns, and the way everything is set up right now, Denver is the 9 seed, San Antonio's the 10 seed, Minnesota's the 11 seed, and Sacramento is the 12th seed. Well, let's start here. Number 1, they get the Rockets tonight. They are 15-6, the 2nd seed in the West. They have won, I believe, 10 of 12. They are cooking right now. Then they take on the Grizzlies, who are 14-7, the 3rd seed in the West. And then they get the Spurs, who are slowly but surely evolving into the New Orleans Pelicans of last season, who are 11-10, but they are undefeated against the Kings. They get a couple breaks where they face the Jazz, who are 4-16, and a couple games that we'll see how they turn out because of the in-season tournament. December 19th and 21st, they get a 2-game series against the Los Angeles Lakers. So, look, it all starts here with these 3 games, man. And I know we did the same thing against the Spurs. And if you've been listening, and I know a lot of you have, and we appreciate it, there's no more, I'm not doing the must-win things anymore. Because what happens? They lose, and we just come back here and do the same thing anyway. So there's no must-win conversations anymore from me. You just got to start playing basketball the right way. Can the Kings put together the morale isn't low, I don't think, but can you put together a competent full game of basketball?
You just sound tired of saying it at this point.
What is the point of saying it's a must win? Well, what's the point? It's almost like if I say it's a must win, they're going to lose. Can you put together a full game of basketball? You'll win it. You'll beat the teams. Now tonight is a little different. You got to put together a very good night of basketball, but you cannot put together a full game of basketball against the Spurs. You could not put together a full game of basketball against the Blazers. You could not put together a full game of basketball against the Clippers. You did put together a full game of basketball against the Timberwolves. 1 out of the last 7 games, you're 1-6. So this is not a West, and we knew this going into the season. We knew there were no nights off. The Spurs were going to be better. The Blazers, if I'm not mistaken, Scoot Henderson didn't even play. So we knew there weren't going to be very many nights off in the West, and that's exactly how it's turning out. The Clippers without Norman Powell and Kawhi Leonard, don't roll that ball out like you have owned something. It's almost like the Kings play, and I know this isn't correct or shouldn't be correct. It's almost like the Kings play with a sense of entitlement. And I don't think that is from Mike Brown, and I don't even know if they feel entitled, but they play like they've actually done something. You've done nothing. You haven't even made a legit playoff run. Last season, it felt like they played with a sense of entitlement, and it almost feels like they do too. And they're not cocky individuals. They don't give that off, right? They don't have that air about them, I don't think. But there is a sense of on the court, we're just going to get hot from 3 and we're going to defend sometimes, and that's what we're going to do. And they're not good enough. And I think now they know they're not good enough. They should have known it last season. Maybe getting DeMar DeRozan, we're good enough to just, no, you're not. No, you're not. You got to play every single minute of every single game until you prove that you can put teams away. Because right now you can't. You'll get up. They were up. What were they up? I believe they were up 17 against the Spurs.
Yeah.
At one point. And you blew it.
They were up, I think, 42-29 at the end of the first quarter.
You aren't able to do that. They're like a high school team. Hey, you know when the high school coach says you can't turn it on and off? That's the Sacramento Kings. You can't turn it on and off right now. Maybe later in the season, but you cannot. You're not good enough. To be honest, you can turn it on and off if you can shoot. And you can't shoot. You are brick masters.
But they were also able to hold the Timberwolves to like 5 points at the end of that fourth quarter on Wednesday.
Turn it on, turn it off.
Yeah, I mean, any NBA team can go through a 12-minute spurt where they just blow a team off the floor. I mean, Portland did it to them coming out of halftime on Friday. So it's like any team in the NBA can go through 12-minute stretches. It's the JaVale McGee quote from last year where it's like great teams put teams away early. Good teams are there, but great teams are the ones that win comfortably. So I don't think there's anything to look at and say this is not replicable. Like this, what they're doing right now is their identity the rest of the way. I mean, some of these best moments of the losing streak, which I know is a bit oxymoronic, the best moments of the losing streak are still replicable for the Kings.
But can you put it together? You got the Rockets tonight, and you stunk against the Rockets last season. And if you're just tuning in, trust me, I've been plenty positive today. So don't get me wrong. I've been plenty optimistic.
The chat line is making me pin down and put in the trade machine here. But you want Dylan Brooks, Amon Thompson, and Cam Whitmore? Because that's the deal that would work if we're creating this terrible.
For De'Aaron Fox?
Yeah. I mean, there would be draft picks, but
yeah.
Let's not do
that. Can we win a game?
Are you happy, chat line? Okay. You threw out the Jimmy Butler, De'Aaron Fox, Houston, H-Town reuniting together, all the homies getting back together.
Enough. This team is not we just read off all these teams that were 9-10, 10-12. They still went to the playoffs, people. You get a W tonight, and I'm not saying the MW term. It's not a MW.
Modern
not a must-win.
Call of Duty.
It's not a must-win. It's would be nice to win. It's a would be nice. So you get this against the second seed in the West. And then you beat the third seed in the West, the Grizzlies. Ja Morant, have some pride. Mano a mano. Top point guards. De'Aaron Fox, Ja Morant. Come on. Get it done. And then can you mount up and take care of the Spurs? The Spurs got like 40% of their victories against you. Figure it out. And Harrison Barnes didn't even have to have a revenge game. I was fully prepared, and the prop talk can prove it. I was fully prepared for Harrison Barnes to drop 20. Fully prepared.
Harrison Barnes had the same number of points as Keegan.
Crazy. Is there no one? I know Gladiator 2 is out. Is there no one that is going to say enough is a bleep enough? Enough.
If I told you a week ago that Isaac Jones would outscore Harrison Barnes.
Come on. Enough. And I love what Harrison. More people need to do what Isaac Jones is doing. Play like this is your last game. Somebody is saying the 916, when I said that the Kings play like they're entitled, you just described the leader of the team, De'Aaron Fox. Maybe. And I don't know if it's entitled or, I'm just going to chill and kind of let everybody get go. No. You hit him in the mouth every single minute of the game until they call the white flag and their starters are out.
Sure, but is it an effort thing? I don't feel like
some of it. I mean, the problem is this team good enough to win a championship? I don't think so. But they're also not this bad.
Yeah.
When you blow something up and you say, hey, just like we said with Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum and all the groups that haven't worked, they got to their ceiling and got stuck at the ceiling. These dudes aren't even on the escalator. They're not even. We can't even say, okay, this is because they're not playing as well as they can. Now, ultimately, do I think they're good enough to win the whole thing? I don't think so, but they're not this bad.
Yeah, I wasn't here yesterday to have the conversation with you. I was busy staring out at the ocean and having a beautiful afternoon. But if I were here, I think I would have talked about, the question of, yes, they didn't win the championship for some of those teams you talked about is there. But at the same time, I think we also learned that maybe you can't win a championship with some of these people as your best players, i.e. John Wall and Bradley Beal. It's like, it wasn't that they came up short. It's maybe that they weren't champion teams in the first place. And maybe that's an expectation difference, but
you have to find that out.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to play better.
And we will find that out over time with the Kings if they continue to run it with Fox and Sabonis. I mean, I've been operating under the assumption for years, and no win streak is going to break this, or losing streak is going to break this, it's not going to be the Kings breaking up with Fox or Sabonis. It's going to be those guys breaking up with the Kings. I don't think there's a situation at any point in the next couple of years where the Kings are going to pivot off of that, because that would be blowing the whole thing up, and the people in charge right now are not going to be the ones who get to pick how it looks after that.
Kings Rockets preview when we return. Somehow the Kings are favorites. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st Annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the Capitol for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st Annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th with Shriners Children's Northern California, Gurnick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at sacktownsports.com.
With NBA League Pass, you can keep up with the whole league.
Wait, is this for real?
For real.
So I can choose from so many live games?
Yeah, up to 4 with multi-view.
And watch my favorite players dunk?
From every angle, home or away.
Wow, unbelievable.
Believe it, kid. With NBA League Pass, it's all possible. NBA League Pass, your home for streaming hoops.
Only select out-of-market games available and local blackout restrictions apply. Additional charges and other conditions may apply. Visit NBA.com/subscriber agreement for full terms and conditions.
At Makita, good enough is never enough. It's not just about the power and runtime of the tool. It's about the power and runtime of the pro. We design, tinker, redesign, and obsess over every detail because we know the pros will too. Straight cuts, tight tolerances, clean lines. Again and again and again. If it's not right, don't put your name on it. Makita, available at the Home Depot.
It's time now for your 49er injury report, brought to you by Jeremy Winter, attorney at law. He cares because he's been there. In the loss at Buffalo 35-10, Brock Purdy did return from a shoulder injury that sidelined him the week before. But the bad news was Christian McCaffrey, who went down with a knee injury in the first half and did not return. According to head coach Kyle Shanahan, it was a PCL injury that could sideline McCaffrey the rest of the year. That's very bad news indeed for the 49ers, who are now 5-7 on the season.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
There's never been a better time than now to get yourself into a brand new Jeep because we're still celebrating Black Friday all month long at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And there's a reason people keep coming back because it's the place where a handshake still means something. Off Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. And Merry Christmas from Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports. We have hit the 1 o'clock hour, so you know what that means. It is time for our Thomas Rhett ticket giveaway. We're giving away a pair of tickets to see Thomas Rhett at the Shoreline Amphitheater on September 27th, 2025. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. Hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now, looking for caller number
3.
Caller number 3. Got to be quick. Got to be quicker than that. Got to be quick. 916-339-1140 to win your pair of tickets to see Thomas Rhett at the Shoreline Amphitheater, September 27th next year. For more information, visit sacktownsports.com, 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. Thank you, Alan. 916-339-1140. And then scream if you are the winner. Caller number 3 to win your tickets to see Thomas Rhett at the Shoreline Amphitheater. You go to Shoreline Amphitheater, you're probably staying over the night, right? Is that you probably have to.
Yeah.
Because that's San Jose, isn't it?
Yeah, but I also don't know what time the concert is.
Well, it's going to be at night.
Is it a Saturday?
So it's in Mountain View. I guess you don't have to stay over, but you could make a night of it and spend your night in Mountain View.
With Thomas Rhett.
Caller number 3.
I know one song from him, and I hope he plays it.
I'm sure he will. Caller number 3, Kyle, is going to find that winner. Looks like they have rolled in. You will have more chances to win throughout the week. It's only Tuesday, so you got a couple more chances to win. We are breaking down the Kings-Rockets preview. Somehow the Kings are favored by 1.5 points. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say stay away, but at this point, who knows with the Kings? Would I touch it? No, but you never know. Maybe the Kings, I thought it was going to be against the Spurs where the Kings figure it out. Maybe it's tonight. Maybe it's De'Aaron facing the Houston Rockets hometown, wants to show out. Malik Monk, second game starting. Keegan Murray, he's got to have a breakout game eventually. Maybe Kevin Huerter. One of these guys, one of the role guys, they're overdue for a breakout game. 916 says, I feel awful saying this because I do bleed purple, believe it or not, but I hope the losing continues. That's the only way they're going to change anything and blow this thing up, which desperately needs to be blown up. Vivek has never done a rebuild in his entire tenure, and now we're paying for it. 916, you sound like a Raider fan. Blow it up. And the thing about the NFL is I just think they're much quicker rebuilds. You get yourself a good offensive line, a quarterback, a couple skill players. You can at least be decent and in the mix. The tough thing about a rebuild is you got to hit on so much. And where are your cornerstones? You're really starting from scratch there. Because I don't know if Keegan Murray is viewed as a cornerstone right now. Maybe after a couple games, we'll have a different conversation. So you're really starting from scratch. And if anybody knows how tough it is to start from scratch and to get that right, it would be Sacramento Kings fans in that drought of over a decade. So I would be careful with the blow-up stuff. I'm not saying don't do it, but we can all look and see, okay, OKC, they did it, man. They did it. But what about all the other teams? Detroit Pistons. What have they done? They tried to blow it up and get back a couple times. They stunk for a while. A lot of these teams have stunk. It's a long process. Trust the process. Look at the Sixers. They played some meaningful basketball. They still never had a parade. So I definitely am not to the point where I've been with my Raiders where I want them to lose. I'm definitely not there with the Kings. Not at all. First of all, it's bad for business, if I'm being completely honest. Second of all, I just think it's too early to be there. That's a long season. And again, there are no guarantees in basketball that this blow-up thing is going to go as well as you like. You get a bunch of draft picks. What if they stink? What if no one of the draft picks, and that would go to how much you trust Monty McNair. At that point, it probably would be somebody else. But what if nobody you draft ends up being as good as De'Aaron Fox? Is it worth that chance? Maybe you think it is. Maybe you think it is. So I'm not there yet, but I will say this. December is incredibly important. December is incredibly important for the Sacramento Kings. We're going to get this sound. I don't want to do it on the fly because Kyle is working on a bunch, and I think we found a winner. But De'Aaron Fox was on Run It Back talking about everything that the Kings have been trying to handle right now as far as just the losses. So in about 7-ish minutes, we will have that sound queued up for you, and we will hear from De'Aaron Fox about accountability and where that has been coming from. But as we continue on, the Rockets have the number 2 defensive rating in the NBA. They've been on fire right now. And look, say what you want about Ime Udoka and, you know, the drama that has kind of come with him and why he's out of Boston now. But the dude can coach a team, and he's got them boys cooking right now. And they're playing at a ridiculous clip. Whether it will last or not, the same way we don't think the Kings will be 12th when it's all said and done. Do we think that the Rockets are going to be second in the West when it's all said and done? I don't think so. But right now, they don't even have a 20-point per game score. They're doing it with a lot of continuity. They've been starting the same 5 for 20 out of the 21 games. Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Şengün. All those years of tanking for draft picks are finally starting to pay off, even though Reed Shepherd, who a lot of people were high on, he cooked during the preseason, he can't get any playing time. So these are some of the guys, the Rob Dillinghams of the world, the Reed Shepherds, these smaller guards that were supposed to cook. They can't get playing time. But it doesn't matter. But look, makes more sense to not get playing time when your team is second in the West. Dillingham, their team, what is it? The Wolves are in play-in category, and he still can't get time. So, you know, a lot is going to come out and be revealed in this game tonight. You know, and like I said, I'm not saying MW, I'm not saying must win, not saying any of that.
You said earlier a would-be nice
A would-be
win.
nice.
It's a would-be nice win.
That's where I'm at.
Game.
That's where I'm at. A would-be nice win. That's where I'm at, okay? And it gets to a point where you gotta put things into action. You gotta put things into motion. Cannot continue to talk about it and not be about it if you're the Sacramento Kings. And as far as the Rockets are concerned, they're just a team who is just playing hungry. And, you know, we get so much, or we talk so much about, okay, well, is somebody scoring 30 points per game, or where's the scoring going to come from? These guys are truly doing it in a team effort. And I think it's really going to be refreshing to see, because I'm not following the Rockets any closer than any other Sacramento Kings fan. So what's going on out there? What's in the water? All I do know is that the Kings couldn't beat them last season, and the Kings couldn't even beat, I know De'Aaron Fox missed a couple of those games, but the Kings couldn't even beat them when they lost Şengün. Şengün didn't even play that fourth quarter. So the Kings have had plenty of issues. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe that game against the Kings, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that was the baby race day where Baby Styles did not come to play. I'm fairly certain that was that game. And so it was just a bad day for me.
So what
general.
you're telling me is Baby Styles is back tonight to redeem herself.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So the Kings are going to redeem themselves.
Somebody's got to redeem themselves. As far as the point distribution for the Houston Rockets, Jalen Green does lead them just by 0.1, 18.9 points per game. Alperen Şengün at 18.8 points per game. Fred VanVleet at 16.3. Dillon Brooks at 12.6. Jabari Smith Jr. at 12. Amen Thompson at 11.8. Tari Eason at 11.1. Then you got the Cam Whitmores of the world, the Jock Landales of the world, 5.9, 3.9. And like we said, Reed Shepherd has played in every game, but he's getting 11.8 minutes, so it's not nothing, but he's averaging 3.7 points per game. So really just trying to find his footing here in the NBA. Rebounds, obviously that's going to go to Şengün at 10.9. Fred VanVleet averaging 6.2 assists per game, and you get Alperen Şengün with 1.2 blocks per game. So this is going to be a game where everybody, you don't know. Mike Brown likes to talk a lot about the hot guy, who the hot guy is for the other team. You don't necessarily know who that's going to be, which is not good, I will say, for the Kings. It's not great because that means anybody could get hot. Jalen Green shooting 31.7% from three. Şengün 25.8, only 1.5 assists per game. Fred VanVleet shooting 33.8% on 7.4 attempts. You have Dillon Brooks shooting 38% on 5.4. That's pretty darn good for Dillon Brooks. 35% for Jabari Smith Jr. on 4.7 attempts. So these are some of the guys to just keep an eye on. The dudes off the bench that might get you if they get hot. Tari Eason at 31.1% on 2.9 attempts. So you really never know who is going to decide. Tonight's the night. I want to have a career day for the Rockets, and it usually does happen against the Kings. The question is, can you finally just stop that from happening? If you're the Kings, can you say tonight is the night? We're not taking it. We're not taking it. The train stops here. The Amtrak train is stopped by I Street now, the I Street Bridge. Now it's going to be delayed for a very long time. Let's get back on the winning side of things and go from there. We played the DeMar DeRozan sound to start off the show, as he talked about how this team is just too talented to be doing what they're doing. Well, we got to see it. We got to see it because maybe it's not a matter of talent. Maybe it's a matter of gelling. Maybe it's a matter of culture. Maybe that's just what it is. I don't think that's it. I think they can gel. I think they can get back to that winning culture, but time is of the essence as well. All right, we have that sound from De'Aaron Fox on the Run It Back pod when we return. More of your calls, more of your texts, more of your Sack Chat. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Christmas music is everywhere. The smell of gingerbread is in the air. And wait, what's that sound? It's Santa. He's headed back to Sacramento for the 41st Annual Santa Parade, December 14th in downtown Sacramento. Bring your entire family to the parade route around the Capitol for over 100 floats, including marching bands, pageant princesses, clowns, horses, and of course, Santa himself.
The 41st Annual Santa Parade, Saturday, December 14th with Shriners Children's Northern California, Gurnick Academy, and the California Army National Guard. The fun begins at 10 a.m. Get more info at sacktownsports.com.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Prop Talk and Dog segment coming up soon. But first, we have that sound from De'Aaron Fox on the Run It Back pod. You know, I was listening to the commercials, and I heard the Santa Parade come up. If you find yourself out at the Santa Parade downtown, you will see your boy. Now, last time it was set up so that I believe there were 2 hosts because there was the parade is so big. You have one host on one side, one host on the other. I will be back to my hosting duties this year to host the Santa Parade downtown. I'm very excited to do so for our station, for all of Bonneville. I will say this, though. I will come correct. Last year, I did not dress warm enough, and it was brick outside. That's what the kids say in New York. It was cold, man. It was cold. My hands were shaking. It was not great.
You learned, though.
I learned.
You learned your lesson.
I will be layered up.
Which is weird because, like, I was there. It was super fun. It was the first time I'd ever done the Santa Parade, and Baby Styles was there all warm.
Yeah.
Your wife was there all warm, and you just walked out of the house like, I'm not going to learn anything.
I had a jacket. It just wasn't enough. I tried to go polo with the jacket. I needed something under, get some long johns. I'm thinking this is Sacramento, not Tahoe. What's going on?
Well, you've learned now. It gets to 40 degrees during the day in Sacramento.
It's not it. Not it. And
you're learning.
And I'm better prepared now from being in this studio. That's how it feels every day in the studio. I'm surprised I can't see my breath. So if you're out at the Santa Parade, come say what's up. I will be on the mic, so come say what's up to your boy. It's going to be
I'll probably
a
be
great
there
time.
too.
And Kyle will be there too. You can come say what's up to both of us. All right. Well, the Run It Back pod said what's up to De'Aaron Fox today as they had a conversation with him. And De'Aaron Fox, look, we've been talking about, has Mike Brown lost the locker room? Let's hear from De'Aaron Fox. He talks about that. He also talks about his boy, Malik Monk, joining the starting lineup. Here it is.
Recently, Coach Mike Brown, he called you guys out publicly in the media. What was your reaction to that when you heard that? Like, what's the vibe in the locker room? I know you said y'all are still trying to get on the right page, but what was your reaction to that?
I mean, we need that at the end of the day. Like, obviously, you want your players, you want it to be a player-driven locker room and things like that, but you need your coach to be able to hold guys accountable. And whenever he's on me, I take the coaching and I keep going. And if he's able to, coach me hard, then he's able to coach all the other guys hard. So that's kind of where we are right now. And being able to hit adversity early in the season could be good for us.
Does that sound like a guy who does not believe in the coach? Now, you're not going to. And I was going to say, you know what? I was going to say you're not going to say all that to the press. But nowadays, they really do. They really don't care, right? If you want a coach out of there, if you don't believe in the coach, go fire up some of the, like Kyle said earlier in the show, go fire up some of the DJ Moore sound about Matt Eberflus, or some of the players from Matt Eberflus, or some of the guys, when you talk about Doc Rivers at other stints in his career. Does it sound like Coach Mike Brown has lost the locker room? That sounds like a De'Aaron Fox who, yes, is he trying to say the right things? Yes. But does he sound authentic to me? Yeah. It feels to me like he's saying maybe, this could have been done sooner to be completely honest, maybe De'Aaron needed that kick in the pants a little sooner than when it actually happened. Who knows?
It's not the first time it's happened either before. I mean, there's been cases of Mike Brown yelling and calling people out.
Right, he got on Malik in that famous practice. You gonna make me lose my top.
Yeah. This is not a new thing, and these guys have been around long enough. And also that, like, the trust is there. And obviously trust is not something that, like, once it's there forever. But, like, they've seen this work. Mike Brown is a very good coach, despite what some of our callers and texters say. Mike Brown is a very good coach, and these guys have been around each other enough now where, you know, sometimes you have to change it up. That sometimes your messages fall on ears that have heard it over and over. But for the most part, I mean, there's that mutual respect there. And, you know, moving Malik Monk to the starting lineup is a good way to build up that trust, if that's, or at least not break trust, because it sounds like that's what Malik wanted. In the second part of that clip, which we can play in a second, De'Aaron Fox talks about that's kind of what they wanted. So, you know, that's facilitating it with Mike Brown.
Yeah, when you look at old school and new school as far as how you teach things and being able to be flexible, you can't be stubborn. And I do think it was getting to the point where the refusal did seem a bit stubborn. And yes, they lost against the Spurs. Hopefully they win tonight, but you couldn't continue to lose games. It's one thing. You can't talk about Manu Ginobili and Andre Iguodala on these championship teams and say, yeah, these guys, they were six men for us when I was here and I was there, and they did great things. That's all fine and good, but you can't be, at the time they were 9-11. You can't be 9-11 and just searching for answers, but still stick to your laurels and be that. I'm not calling him stubborn, but stubborn in your ways to say, I said I wasn't going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Let's take last season, for example. Malik never started. You know, they get to the play-in, they lose. The other thing, a lot of people were calling for Harrison Barnes. And it got to the point where I'm not doing it. Stop asking. Harrison gives this, he gives that. And he was a bit stubborn there. Now, a lot of people wanted Trey Lyles at that point in time. My argument was Trey Lyles didn't play good enough to make that happen. And when it came to the Kevin Huerter thing, they did end up moving Kevin Huerter out of it. Chris Duarte couldn't play well enough. And Chris Duarte was ahead of the line, I would say, in front of Keon Ellis for what they thought would make sense. We never saw that decision have to be made because Kevin Huerter got hurt and Davion got skipped over. Let's not forget. And there was somebody on the line earlier talking about Davion and moving off of him. Davion was the sixth. Davion, it was Malik Monk, but Davion was like the seventh man off the bench to start the season last season.
For the Beam team that won 48 games and had the best offense in NBA history at the time, he was the seventh guy. It was Monk was the sixth man. It was Davion Mitchell. It was Trey Lyles. That was your rotation.
And that was basically okay, this could be a launch pad for Davion, and you came back, and I'm just looking here out of his different seasons. So just for a quick comparison, last season, Davion got 15 minutes a game. In Beam Team season, he got 18 minutes a game. This season, he's getting 27.9 minutes a game. Last season, he averaged 5.3 points per game. This season, he's averaging 7.1. Okay, and the assists, the assist is really the big kicker as far as being a playmaker. By far, his best season, his rookie season, he only played he played in 75 games, only started 19. He averaged 4.2 assists. Didn't even get close to that his next two seasons. He's averaging 5.3 assists per game. So shout out to Davion. Good for him. But I don't think there's going to be a lot of people out there right now from three-point range. He's shooting 27%. So I don't think that there are a lot of people out there that are going to say, I just think Keon Ellis is just better.
So you're saying Davion would be above average on this year's Sacramento Kings team?
That's also true.
27%. We'll take 27% right now.
That's also true. He's shooting 66% from free throw. Again, we're 21 games in. He started 13 of those games so far. He's playing 27 minutes per game. So I don't think the decision to move off of Davion and keep Keon Ellis is the issue. I think the issue is it's just the wings. You just have no wing depth. The big man depth is tough because, you can't get Valanciunas or whoever because Domantas Sabonis has to play center and it's a specific type. So you're do what you want with that. But okay, maybe the system can be changed, right? And Whitey Gleason yesterday on the Crosstalk said, hey, well, if you're talking about not doing the DHO, you're talking about restarting the same thing. And then he went on to say, but maybe that's your point. And it is. I'm not saying to do it right now. I'm saying there are a lot of moves that can be made within this roster before blowing it up. Maybe it's a new offensive scheme. Maybe it's just going more traditional. Whatever it is, again, hopefully this shuts me all up tonight. They can get a win against the Rockets, second seed. This would be, by the way, I don't think there's any argument. This would be by far their best win of the season, right?
I think so, although I'd have to refresh myself.
Based on standings, I think without a doubt.
Yeah, let's pull up the Kings schedule to verify it. But just based on first glance, that you say that, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right.
I think the only team, the Thunder, who they got smacked by, they haven't played the Warriors yet, and the Timberwolves.
Phoenix was pretty good at the time that they played them.
Okay.
I'm just trying to remember just how good it was when they had that come from behind overtime win.
That's right. Because that was right before the guys went down for Phoenix. That was when I believe they were missing someone though, because I don't think Devin Booker played in that game.
So they were 8-1 at the time, but they didn't have. Let's see.
It was either Booker or Durant.
Yeah, Durant wasn't playing.
Yeah.
So Durant was out, but they were 8-1 at the time, and I think at the time they were also like 5-0 in games where they were like trailing late.
There you go.
It was like, yeah, it was a big win at the time, but I guess by standings, I guess you would be right that this is probably the biggest win of the season if they beat the Rockets.
And if they don't, then tomorrow would be because the Grizzlies are in third. So.
Although there's a broader question of just how good are the Rockets anyways. So
I don't care. Well, you can't beat the Spurs or the Blazers or the Clippers with no Norman Powell. So you got to beat someone. All right. We will get the rest of that De'Aaron Fox sound on the other side. We do have a couple top stories that we want to get to as well. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Seasons change, but if you hope to stay healthy, your body needs to stay active year-round, whether that's in the gym or on the trail or at work, and that's where the Good Feet store can help. Good Feet's personalized arch support system supports all four arches, relieving pain in your feet, knees, hips, and back. And Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Visit goodfeet.com for an appointment or stop in for a free fitting. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville, and in Reno on South Virginia Street.
Hi, this is Rick Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting their focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884. This holiday season, create a fun and joyful memory for you and your loved ones. Come light the world and help those in need through the Giving Machine, November 16th through January 1st at the Westfield Galleria Mall in Roseville and in Modesto at Valley Fair Mall. Choose from local charities serving your community or from global charities worldwide. Come feel the Christmas spirit at the Giving Machine. Learn more at givingmachine.greatersacramentomodesto.org.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is expanding. I guess you could say the Super Shop is getting more superer. That means more for you, more apparel, more equipment, more shoes, more gift ideas, more of everything you want. If you're looking for the right gift for the golfer in your life, let the friendly team of Hagen Oaks experts help you find the perfect gift. From golf bags to golf balls, from golf pants to golf shirts, from rain gear to golf gloves, Hagen Oaks has it all. And much is on sale. Visit the Hagen Oaks Golf Superer Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80, or find us at hagenoaks.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is expanding. I guess you could say the Super Shop is getting more superer. That means more for you, more apparel, more equipment, more shoes, more gift ideas, more of everything you want. If you're looking for the right gift for the golfer in your life, let the friendly team of Hagen Oaks experts help you find the perfect gift. From golf bags to golf balls, from golf pants to golf shirts, from rain gear to golf gloves, Hagen Oaks has it all. And much is on sale. Visit the Hagen Oaks Golf Superer Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80, or find us at HagenOaks.com.
It's time now for your 49er injury report, brought to you by Jeremy Winter, attorney at law. He cares because he's been there. In the loss of Buffalo 35-10, Brock Purdy did return from a shoulder injury that sidelined him the week before. But the bad news was Christian McCaffrey, who went down with a knee injury in the first half and did not return. According to head coach Kyle Shanahan, it was a PCL injury that could sideline McCaffrey the rest of the year. That's very bad news indeed for the 49ers, who are now 5-7 on the season.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m., 30 more minutes with you. Congrats to our Thomas Rhett ticket giveaway winner. It was lucky caller number 3.
Yeah, Terrence.
Terrence, enjoy yourself, Terrence. Thomas Rhett at the Shoreline Amphitheater. Does that sound like Thomas Rhett?
Yeah. I love that you're saying that also in the Thomas Rhett voice under the beat of Sicko Mode, too.
Ain't too proud and then I'm messing in them both.
There you go.
That's beautiful. A little bit of fusion for you. Did anybody end up having tacos? We've been talking about tacos all day. Al Pastor, carne asada. If you're Kyle, you can get some really nice. I don't know. I'm still getting to know the Sacramento area, but there's where I get my hair cut. There's a really good taco place, and they get down. The pollo is crazy. The pollo is crazy. You can get some good flavor on some chicken. You know, that's where we are at. All right, where we're at with the Sacramento Kings is De'Aaron Fox did a quick hit on the Run It Back pod, and he was asked about Malik Monk, his boy from Kentucky, joining the starting lineup. This is what he had to say.
Now, Mike, he recently put in your former Kentucky teammate Malik Monk into the starting lineup. You see these guys like Norman Powell, who are now in the starting lineup, who are straight balling. Is this the best version of the Kings with you, Keegan, Malik, Sabonis, and DeMar?
I definitely think it can be, because a lot of times that's kind of what we end our games with. And, most coaches say, it's not about who starts, it's about who finishes games. And I think he wanted to shake something up, having Malik in the starting lineup. And I think it did work well for us. We have to be able to finish the games better. But I definitely think having, 5 guys who can put the ball in the basket on the floor at the same time to start a game, it works wonders for everybody. And, I mean, like you said, you see Norman and what he's able to do. And I think Malik's bringing the same thing whenever he's starting.
There it is. So that has clearly been something that has been talked about for a while. And really, Mike Brown kind of just felt like he didn't have a choice, to be completely honest with you. But with that being said, Malik Monk has been giving an opportunity. I think he balled out in the last game. Unfortunately, wasn't enough to get it done. I still think they need a better bench. But at the same time, Malik shouldn't have to suffer and not get an opportunity because the bench stinks, and also they're still losing games. If the bench stunk and they were winning games, I think we wouldn't be here. but the bench is going to stink regardless. You're just moving Malik's time, and maybe this puts you in a position to where the bench isn't as important. And again, up 17 last game against the Spurs. Up big. Couldn't put it together. Couldn't bring it home. So it actually worked. Now somebody will say, well, they lost the lead because Malik wasn't in. There's only one Malik. So, well, you're either going to be down. Hopefully you're not, but that's how it had been. You're going to be down, and then Malik helps you chase to get back in the game, or you get Malik to start the game, you're up, and then there's nobody on the bench to sustain the lead. What are you supposed to do with that, though? You know that's just a roster problem. That's not a Malik Monk problem or something he should be able to fix. That's just a roster issue. And Malik Monk, he grabbed his lunch pail every single day. He didn't complain about it. He didn't whine about it. He felt like he should be a starter. He signed. He decided to stay in Sacramento. When we talked to Mike Brown during media day, there wasn't even a mention. Not even a mention of Malik Monk in the starting lineup. Mike Brown did not want to do it. They had no choice.
And crazy enough, in the first quarter of the first game Malik Monk starts, the Kings scored 40 points in a quarter for the first time this season. In any quarter, the first time this season, the Kings put up 40 points in a quarter.
To be completely honest with you, I really can't believe they lost that game. I'm just keeping it 1,000. I cannot believe they lost. I'm still kind of flabbergasted. The same way I was flabbergasted about that guy at the concert, thinking I wasn't going to ask for, thinking that he was going to get that spot back when he took it from me. That's how flabbergasted I was that the Spurs actually won that game. Everything was aligned for the Kings. The Spurs stink. You got Malik back in. Your backs are against the wall. You owed them one. That's why I'm not doing the must-win thing anymore.
Yeah.
Everything lined up last game. I have no clue what's going to happen tonight. It could get ugly in either way.
To your point about the Spurs of it all, if you follow the nerd stats like I do sometimes, there's a stat called expected win-loss record, which is like under normal circumstances, if you play a league average team in every game, what should your record be? And they have like fractions of wins and stuff.
Right.
Expected win-loss says the Kings are better than a 500 team this year.
Of course.
Because the Kings have just found weird ways to lose close games this year. So I don't know. I think the Spurs game is not the only one where you've had questions about how they possibly lost it afterwards.
916 from Chris the Mom. It's difficult when you're in foul trouble and penalty, 9 minutes left in the fourth. Yeah, I mean, that's insane. They talked a lot about that. That can't happen. You know what I want? And look, there's some, I'm not going Aziz Al-Shair here. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know if it's tonight against Dylan Brooks. Can you just talk about, I want a very, very aggressive closeout on a three. Send him to the line. I don't care. I just want to make a point. Like, again, when I'm the hit doctor and I'm with these kids, I'm going to throw you a pitch and I want you to pull it no matter where it is. So just, or the opposite, because I wouldn't tell a kid to do that. I want you to hit this ball opposite field no matter where it is. Just to mix it up. I want you to close out. Again, not Al-Shair here. I don't want anyone getting injured. I just want to make a point. You are not going to get open looks tonight. Just hack them. I don't care.
So you don't care anymore about must win, would be nice win. You just want to see Dylan Brooks sprawled out in the second row.
Yes.
You want them
send them to the line.
You want the Dylan Brooks to fly over the bench into the first row of crowd.
I'd rather have not and ones. I'd rather have 3 to 4 3-point shot attempt fouls tonight than seeing what they're going to do. I'd rather have send them to the line. I don't care. Just to make a point that you are going to close out hard all night long. Can you even do it? Because the whole thing is, oh my goodness, I don't want to get too close. I don't want to foul the shooter. They're not even in the same zip code. They're not even in the same area code half the time. So I don't care about, let me pull up, because you haven't even been there. Let me pull up and I don't want to accidentally foul them. No, forget all that. Foul them. Don't care. Make a point tonight that you are going to guard the three-point line. I want the Rockets scared to shoot a three. And I'm not saying to hurt. Of course, I'm not saying to hurt anyone. I'm not. But you have given up wide open threes all season long. Overcorrect tonight. That's the whole point. Overcorrect. Hey, guys, we fouled 4 dudes on the three-point line. Probably don't want to do that, but at least we closed out hard.
We sent Jabari Smith to the free throw line after he fell through the scorer's table.
I don't want anyone injured. I do not want anyone injured. And I'm not saying, obviously how they land. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying hand to hand. I want high fives, all night long.
So how during the Kings game, they'll sometimes advertise our show on the ticker?
Yeah.
What you want is Tari Eason sprawled out on the floor underneath the words Allen Stiles.
I don't want anyone sprawled out. I just want to see hard closeouts. Close out like your life depended on it.
Yes.
And then close out again.
Close out on Jock Landale. Send him a message.
I don't care. Close out on Ime Udoka. If the ref holds the ball, close out. Close out. Enough.
We don't want Amon Thompson to have a chance at getting a three-pointer.
None. 916 says, I'm with you, Styles. I want to see relentless closeouts in all caps. Above anything else, we need to close out tonight. I'm not trying to see the Rockets break their season best like we've been doing all year. Chris from Orangevale.
Shout out Tate will have no chance.
Shout out Chris. Close out, dang it. Don't hurt anybody, but make a point. If I see a wide open look, we're having another baby race, and we're going to win this one.
What's going to happen when Reed Shepherd pulls up from 3? No. He's going to be right on the ground.
I don't care if it's Trey Jones. Remember that half-court shot against the Spurs that he made? Enough. Have some pride. We've been hearing Mike Brown say the same things, and now you hear De'Aaron Fox, oh, yeah, we need that. Well, what are you going to do? Are you actually going to put it into motion? Please, just close out. All right, we're going to close out the show. On the other side, we got prop talk and dog segment and predictions. We already have some predictions coming in. Give us yours. The Kings are somehow 1.5-point favorites. What are your predictions tonight? And give us your dogs. Will it be De'Aaron Fox against his hometown team? Will it be Kevin Huerter if he plays tonight? Will it be DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray? Dog segment, prop talk, and predictions to close out the show. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, and guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The holidays are always a great time to get together with family and friends, but nothing beats the thrill of Stockton Honda's deals. During Happy Honda Days, find the perfect ride in person or online. With over 400 new Hondas ready to go, now is the time to buy at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's L1 report.
Don't you just love this time of year and the holidays when families get together to make memories? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. From the time I was a youngster, the family table was always filled with a gathering of grandparents, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters. Those are memories that will live with me forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings Holiday Home Sale going on right now gives you the opportunity to find the perfect holiday gift that will last a lifetime. You'll find unique gifts like gleaming accessories for every room, now 20% off. During Naturewood's holiday home sale, you'll find savings all around the store for every room in your home. Find your perfect bit of Christmas for your home at Naturewood Home Furnishings Holiday Home Sale going on right now. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
15 more minutes with you, then we will send you off to Golden One Center, where Whitey Gleason and Kyle Draper are ready to party with you up until game night, and then pregame, and then game time for your Sacramento Kings. Again, no clue how the Kings are favorites tonight, 1.5. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I just haven't seen it, but Vegas normally knows. So, maybe they put it together tonight and you can get back on the right side of things. Okay, Kyle, let's go prop talk first, and then we will do dog segment. Look, they better start winning games. I'm not doing dog segment. No mo.
No dogs here.
No dogs here, but tonight, yes, that's what they sound like. Hey, get off my ankle. Get off. All right, Kyle. Hey, stop it. All right, Kyle. Who do you have? Hey, what'd I say? All right, Kyle.
Prop talk. Yeah.
For prop talk.
Keegan's points keep going down a little bit, don't they?
You can take it if you want, but it's scaring me, man.
It's last I saw, it's 12.5, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to believe in Keegan tonight. I think Keegan can get to 13 points, and I don't know how he fits into the Malik Monk offense. Maybe because the Kings are figuring out this Malik Monk in the starting lineup thing, taking a King to score points is not the best way to go. It's either that or taking Tariq and rebounds. But other than that, I'm just going to go with Keegan, 12.5 points. Over.
Yeah, I would honestly say I'm not going to do it, but if I did go the Rockets direction, Fred VanVleet, 2.5 threes, I'd smash that. I would. But I'm not going to. Because we are here to talk Kings. I will say this. Okay, I really wanted to go with Malik Monk assists, but I'm not seeing that. Let's see. Maybe I'll do the Malik Monk if they have the combo. Malik Monk, 20 points and assists. Last game he had 25.
Okay. I like that.
So that's about 15 points. Yeah, there's literally 15 points and 6 assists. And they left a lot of Malik's assists out there last game. And he still got to, I think he had 4 or something. So Malik Monk, 20 points plus assists. I'm going to say over. I honestly just want to take his assist, but I'm not seeing that available right now.
Since Malik came back from injury, other than the Thunder game, which was he only played 26 minutes, obviously, and he was still bothered by the ankle. But in the 3 games since then, he's hit that over in every game. He was at 36 against the Timberwolves, 38 against the Trailblazers, 26 against the Spurs.
Yeah.
That's a really good stab by you.
There you go. We'll see if it continues. Russell on the sack chat is saying Keegan's only gone over his points once in the past 6 games. I think he's so bad offense. Well, right now he is, Russell. But yeah, Kyle is trying to get him back going. I'm not. You can't. And Keegan, honestly, not me, my friend. He was my friend's wagon. That was the one. It was 22 points, rebounds. The beginning of the season, hammered every single game he did. And now he's down to, I think, 19.5, and I'm not touching it.
Well, so this is the interesting part is if Keegan shoots 6 free throws, I've knocked out 5 points right there. So
Yeah.
at that point, like even his worst games, he's putting up 4 makes a game. So I guess I'm just looking at it like he's got to get to the free throw line at some point. He's got to get some way to get points on the board, right? It's not just going to be chucking and ducking threes. Like that's the way that Keegan gets in trouble sometimes, right? Is when it just turns into the chucking and ducking threes, and then he misses a few, and then he just gets phased out of the offense, or he gets into foul trouble or something like that.
Yeah.
I think the other part of it is I just love Keegan so much. I just want it to go well for him.
It has to happen soon. It has to happen soon for Keegan Murray, and we think it will. All right, so look, if they give a Malik Monk assist line later, I'll probably take that instead, or I would take that instead. Listen to this one, Kyle. Malik Monk, doesn't this feel low? Malik Monk, 5.5 field goals made. 5.5 field goals made.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the free throws. That's the issue.
I think. Let's see what he's at the last few games. So he had 7,
10, and 11.
Yeah. So, but he was also taking a lot of shots. 5.5 does seem relatively low. Do they?
Right.
Who's? I guess is Dylan the villain guarding him tonight, or is it going to be Jalen Green?
I think Dylan will be on De'Aaron Fox. That'd be my guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. How I haven't watched enough of the Rockets to figure out their defensive rotations. Like, are they just because they're number 2 in defensive rating?
Right.
So all these dudes can guard.
They all can guard.
Yeah.
So maybe we should stay away.
Jalen Green can guard.
Unders.
Jalen Green can guard. Fred VanVleet can guard well enough.
Yeah.
Like their defense is really, and a lot of that is Şengün also, but their defense is really good. So I don't know. If Dylan Brooks is going to be guarding Malik, maybe, but like
he's going to be hacking him, so I would take free throws.
Maybe I need Dylan Brooks to be guarding Keegan then.
Yeah, maybe you should. All right, let's get some predictions rolling in. And who is your dog tonight? It's time to let the dogs out. All right, Kyle, you go ahead and kick it off.
I get to go first?
Yeah, and you can double up on your prop talk as well.
No, because I took a wonderful 5-day vacation. It was lovely. So I haven't had a chance to talk about my new favorite Sacramento King, which is Isaac Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said before, why are we not letting Isaac Jones get, like, if we're desperate for forwards and we're desperate for anything off the bench, why are we not giving Isaac Jones any run? And you know what? Isaac Jones finally got minutes out of necessity because Trey Lyles went down and they literally ran out of forwards. But since Isaac Jones has gone into the starting lineup, Isaac Jones has been killing it for the Sacramento Kings. So I'm going to go with Isaac Jones tonight as my dog. Keep it up, Isaac Jones. I am a big fan of him, and looking up his game logs real quick, just want to make sure I have it right. Yep, put up 6 points against OKC, 8 points against Minnesota, 7 points against Portland, 12 points against San Antonio. So you know what? We're looking at 8-10 points for Isaac Jones tonight. Yeah. Feeling real good. He's going to have some screen assists. He's going to have some spray kick assists on spray threes. Isaac Jones is just going to do the little things.
Couple dunks last game, couple highlight dunks last game that we love to see. So I love that shout from you, Kyle. I'm going to go with who you took for your prop talk. Look, man, it's only Tuesday. This guy's been getting a lot of flack. They're saying that you're not ready, Keegan. They're saying that you're not about that life, Keegan. They're saying that you got to get moved, Keegan.
What's up, Vancouver?
What are you going to do, Keegan? How are you going to come back on the other side and show up and show out? How will you respond, Keegan Murray? I'll tell you how you're going to respond. You're going to be a dog. Rebounding the basketball.
Aww.
You're going to be a dog. Guarding whoever's the hot hand for the Rockets. You're going to be a dog. Shooting the three-pointer. You dunked on Wembanyama last week, or a couple days ago, feels like a week ago. You were able to do what you needed to do there. Can you continue to move in the right direction? Top 25 player under 25. That's you, Keegan Murray. I want 15 Keegan Murray chants tonight. And you close out on the dang three-point shooters like your life depended on it. You got to do it, Keegan Murray. We don't want to trade you. We don't want your value to go down.
We're not going to trade you.
We want you to stay. Just like Sam Smith said, stay with me.
12.5 points.
Stay with the threes. Keegan Murray.
6 free throw attempts.
We need you. We're calling. We're looking.
3 offensive rebounds.
Where have you been? Keegan Murray, please, please, please. Tonight's the night to be that dog.
Defend Jalen Green and maybe hold him to 20 points.
Be that dog, Keegan. Be that dog. All right. Those are our 2 dogs, Isaac Jones and Keegan Roof Murray.
Roof.
Let's get to some predictions here before we get you out of here and hand you over to the drive guys. Kyle, what do you have for your prediction tonight?
I'm gonna throw something bold out here for you, Mr. Stiles.
Okay.
The Sacramento Kings are going to hold the Houston Rockets to under 100 points.
Whoa.
They're going to hold the Rockets to under 100 points. Does that mean they're going to win? I didn't say that. I said
we need a prediction for the actual game.
Let's go. Sacramento Kings 106, Houston Rockets 98.
Wow. Hey, they cover. I'm not even worried about covering. Just win the dang game. Okay, so you had 106 to 98?
Sure.
All right, there's no way they're holding the Rockets under 98, but I appreciate it, and you hold me to that if they actually do on tomorrow's show.
Oh, I'm going to walk in here so smug.
You should. You should. I'm going to go with the Kings getting back on the right side of things. I think it's a close one. I'm going to say it is 105 to 103.
All right, 105, 103.
That's what you got. Okay, thank you so much for listening to Allen Stiles here on Sacktown Sports. Thank you to Kyle. Great job as always. Congrats to our winner, Terrence, going to see Thomas Rhett, Shoreline Amphitheater. You have your chance to win those tickets again throughout the week. Thank you to all the callers. Great calls today. Great text today. Thank you to the text line, my beloved text line, and to the Sack Chatters. You know I got love for all the Sack Chatters out there. Appreciate you. Drive Guys coming up next. You have Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, and Jay Johnson. Until tomorrow, secure the bag. Please, please, please. Light the beat.